Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Lower that a bit. Hello, everybody. It's me, Francisco, joined by my good buddy Charles here for Sports Goofs number 188. And it's welcome to Leonida. Charles, or Leonida? Leonida? I don't know how they're going to pronounce it in this. The new Grand Theft Auto that's going to come out in 2 years. So, yeah, how you doing, my buddy?
I'm good. I would think, knowing Grand Theft Auto and they're doing satire, they're going to have different variations of Leonida. I would call it Leonida. You'll get the presumably faux Miami and go Leonida, and then you'll have like the super bumpkin Polk County Bartow going Leonida.
So let's just get into it because this is a sports show, everybody. But that came out. I know on Dan Le Batard's show they also discussed the Grand Theft Auto trailer because they're also do the stuff with the local hour. And well, you've lived in Miami, Andrew's lived in Miami, I live in Miami, and
Doug, when he was an OG,
Doug is very much, he is more, he probably got more out of that than any of all of us because he actually grew up here. So that I want to go through that trailer again. Charles, it's only like a minute and a half long.
Perfectly fine.
We can kind of break it down. This is kind of what we're gonna roll with today's episode, anyways, and we'll go from there. So let me put on the big screen here, and we'll go. But yeah, it was very monumental. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
one of those words.
Momentous.
That's a game like that essentially is Florida Man Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And
modern day Florida Man Simulator.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, you had Vice City, right? Mm-hmm. But that was still very much like, okay, GTA 3, but it's Miami this time. It's
Miami too.
Scarface and all that stuff. There was an actual Scarface video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Godfather, one of the Godfather games, took place in Florida a little bit.
Godfather Part 2 did.
Yeah.
Charles loves the Godfather and Godfather 1 and 2, and you know what? I accept 3. It's like the bastard.
But they had the video games based on the movies too, like in like the late 2000s. And
I think Scarface is overrated as a film. I know.
It is.
But I didn't think it was that good. I love Brian De Palma as a director, but
I think too many people make it their personality.
Every rapper in South Florida.
Yeah. Right. Everybody wants to make it their
personality. He gets blown up at the end and shot, and dies. Like, it's not a spoiler, guys. It's been 40 years. But
and wasn't frickin' who the Ray Liotta? Didn't he voice the guy for?
He voiced Tommy Vercetti.
Yeah. There we go.
Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. Ooh, I got a trophy. But yeah, it was just so good. It was just so good. Vice City itself. I never fully finished it, which I had mentioned to Derek today, who's going to get kind of like a shout out to a degree because of certain college sports adventures, because he's going to be your number 2 in this. But San Andreas is still my favorite. 5 I didn't care too much for. And we'll go into detail, but let's examine this story or this trailer.
Okay, so let me get it up here on the full screen. Let me try and bump up the it was a 4K trailer, by the way, for anybody out there. So this game is coming out for so far it's just been announced for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. Well, I can't imagine the S running this thing, to be honest.
But I mean, they'll have a low grade of it the same way how they were doing
which will probably be like the low-end PC version of it anyways. At this point, they haven't announced the PC version, but I honestly think that the only reason why they haven't announced it just yet is because they're probably working out who is going to distribute it. It's going to be Steam, it's going to be Epic, or Rockstar going to do it themselves. But I would assume that they'd get a nice fat check from one of those two to be like, we'll get it first.
If anything, it's got to be Epic, right? Not to go into logistics, but they're the ones who are not thriving off the Epic Store yet. They admitted it. So, you get that. You already have Alan Wake 2 as being the main publisher, which your boys are going to be doing soon. We promise you guys.
Yeah.
But it kind of has to. I think in a year or so time, they'll get the publishing rights to just kind of go and distribute it for the PC, and then go from there. Because you want to do that high end marketability for a while. And if knowing Rockstar, and mind you, like Remedy, I do also enjoy. Oh, that's interesting. I do enjoy a good portion of some Rockstar games. It's just, you know, GTA 5 was not the class above, but granted, different way of playing it. I can see them also doing like the GTA line component as being a paid subscription services as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I would assume, because maybe Epic would probably pony up the money for that. They make so much money off of Fortnite and all that stuff anyways. And I remember when they started the store, I think for like the first, because they always had the giveaways every month of games. I think the first month they gave out GTA 5. So they've worked before with Rockstar and this type of stuff. So I would assume they would do that. And the only wild card I would see was be like, I can't imagine Good Old Games doing it. I don't think they would. That's like CD Projekt Red's PC whatever client. And I think that's really it with regards to everything else. And the only other wild card would be like Microsoft themselves, and be like, look, we have Xbox on PC, you have this on Xbox already, and
I can see them doing it.
Yeah, and they might even be like, hey, look, make it Game Pass exclusive for like 6 months or something like that. You know, we'll pay X amount of millions of dollars to have it on Game Pass day one. So that's always a possibility that could happen.
I think you can get from Microsoft, because what they're going to want to go to is, they've always loved the idea of cloud everywhere gaming, but not cloud streaming. It's just you have our entertainment. They want to basically be like Sony. And I'm not talking about PlayStation. Hear me out, guys. They want to be, hey, you have our TVs, our sound bars, our gaming stuff, but in the manner of, oh, that makes life easier, in the manner of video gaming, which makes sense.
Yeah, they're trying.
You have a PlayStation Portable. Soon we'll have the Microsoft Portable stuff, right?
Well, I mean, Microsoft's just trying to get their thing on everything. I mean, like, they're working with Nintendo. They want to get Game Pass on it, right? Yeah, they want to spread their seed all over. So there's a little bit of Xbox everywhere, even though like that's what they're trying to do. But all right, let's start.
They're trying to get me to spend $350, which even you said, Charles, is tempting.
I mean, that's pretty damn tempting, right? I know there's like a Slim coming out of the Xbox Series, whatever, probably next year. But yeah, that did look like a very enticing deal. If anybody's out there looking for Xbox,
it's also like, I think Diablo's involved, so I'm like getting $150 savings. The problem is it's not Best Buy, but look, we're out of Best Buy gift cards. We're saving up the GameStop for real reasons. I gotta just take the L here, kids, and that's fine. But I'm still thinking about it. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I blame Black Friday for not having all the deals. Yeah. Because I'm like, 4 games. I'm going on vacation next week, guys. We're gonna get some gaming. Rabbids is gonna be done, I would say, by next week. I can almost guarantee it. You know, so nothing is out of the question, boys and girls.
All right. Well, let's start this trailer. So
have you? Yeah, I'll do the trailer and I have a question for you after.
I've seen it, but
okay. Have you ever played the Grand Theft Auto games?
I've never owned straight up a Grand Theft Auto game. I have a copy of GTA 5 for the Xbox 360. That's how old that game is, by the way. But obviously my 360 kind of crapped out, so and I can't play it on the Xbox One because the Xbox One has a version of GTA 5 that they want you to buy on there. And the PC has one, and I'm just like, at this point, I was like, I don't want to play GTA 5. And everybody knew 6 was going to be Vice City anyways. So I was like, I'll do that one. If I'm going to buy one, I might as well do the one that is literally where I live. And that would be fun to kind of see in a video game sense. And now here we are. So we're looking here to start out. And, you know, all of this scenery, it does feel like the causeways that go along the bay. So
if we could tell everybody, we appreciate Andrew, who in the chat sends it to us and plays this game of like, I lived in Miami, so look at these landmarks. And I think it's because Andrew's been chasing the high of getting a little bit more darker skinned with us.
Yeah.
And like, knowing Miami's gonna make you, buddy. We got you.
Yeah, he's like, is
So
that the
that
Arsenal?
always
Like,
felt
Andrew, that's the American Airlines Arena. I can tell you that. Like,
we saw Kaseya Center.
yeah,
or the
whatever
Kaseya
it's called at
Arena.
this point. The FTX the crypto scam arena. So we have the new main character, or one of the two main characters, right? It's a couple. It's a white man, I would assume, and a Latina woman. And
Understand that.
I wonder where that prison is, because like the prisons out here in Miami, there's one near the airport by Doral, but that from the bars and everything, like, it didn't look like that one. And then there's one all the way out west, of course. So I'm just wondering where they're placing the prison, right? Then of course they got the shot of Miami Beach, all along there. Yes, the condos. So we see the airboat, and we see flamingos, and we see the Everglades.
Yep.
So that was one of my questions that I posed. I'm like, how far west are they going to do this? Well, they're reaching the Everglades. That's pretty far west.
I think we're getting the entire state of Florida.
I can't imagine the entire state, Charles.
We're going to tally.
I would have no. It'll be kind of like, I don't know. If anybody,
they did it in San Andreas, where it wasn't just like one bit. You got California, as you know, is a
okay. Yeah, all right. So like that, like GTA 5, where you get bits. It's not the entire state where you can travel the entire state.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be
have pinpoints of north, south, and central Florida.
Okay, and that's my guess. That's what GTA 5 did. That's what Forza does as well. Recently, with like Forza Horizon 4 was pretty much an amalgamation of the UK, and 5 was Mexico. So you got a little bit of everything with the landscapes and everything like that. So yeah, I guess, but I was just assuming they'd just do like 3 counties, Broward, Miami-Dade, Palm Beach. But I can assume
There's got to be a Key West going to haunted houses, man.
Yeah, well, there, and I can't imagine them doing like an Orlando with amusement parks and everything like that. But
Andrew would buy that game day one. For anybody who hasn't been for a bit, Andrew always has a consistent chub for Orlando.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't imagine, this just feels like they just remapped the entire Miami-Dade County map. I feel like that would just be it.
Which I love too. Listen, if they have like old viejos trying to screw somebody out of $1 for a bottle of water, I'm in for it. Like trying to hustle me $3 for a small bottle.
Everything we're seeing, so we see the Everglades here. It just feels more like South Florida, and South Florida is just way different than North Florida.
Yep.
So there's no you've lived in North Florida, North Central Florida. All right, so
I would be more central. You know, I've been to Tally. You've been to Tally.
Yeah, I've lived in Tallahassee. I mean, there's
so
a completely different landscape. So from what I've seen, so like we're going here, another shot of Miami Beach, and the Biscayne Bay and the Port of Miami, and there's the shot.
Do you think they have Fontainebleau? They have to have Fontainebleau.
Yeah, I mean they've got Miami Beach and everything, so they're gonna have all of this. So then you got them riding along here. Whatever this is supposed to represent next to the causeway with American Airlines Arena. That is legitimately it. And they have like these lines that aren't part of American Airlines Arena, but I'm just like, I think they should add stuff like this now. That looks pretty dope with like LED lights,
especially for Vice Night, man.
Yeah, so they might actually take that idea, but that's the shape and everything is exactly the Heat's Arena. So that's along the causeway. Then you've got.
Do you think they have the Hard Rock?
That's what I want to say. Like, I don't know how far they're gonna go with it. How far north are they gonna go? Are they gonna have? Because I know the Marlins are in this. Like, they're this game, or their ballpark is the Heat are. Do they go all the way to Miami Gardens? Do they go all the way to Broward? How far north can they go?
I need preppy.
And how far south? Like I said, are we getting the Keys? Are we getting whatever?
Well, the whole thing about like the Everglades and stuff like that is you can dump bodies and stuff.
Yeah, the Everglades is ready. Yeah, that's prime and ready. Big space, because like, and then you have all this area that kind of looks like Wynwood. Then you have gosh, this is probably like 11 or something. So because people have come out now. I guess there's the NDA they probably had with a lot of these places in Miami, like a representative from space was like, yeah, they came and they kind of like they took photos and videos and like mapped out the inside of space, and 11 is close to space, so I would assume that strip club was probably mapped out and everything as well.
It reminds me, they'll have like a Tootsie's and a Scarlet's. It reminds me of when they did Bad Boys for Life, and they're like, Miami got the most praise. Y'all don't understand how great it was. Just to have that, like, now we're going to be immobilized in a video game. Well,
there was a Bad Boys Miami video game that was terrible on the PS2.
Yeah, just awful.
It was really bad. They could not pay Martin Lawrence, Will Smith to reprise their roles for sure. And then you've got this scene that's probably somewhere in like Alapata or North Miami Beach or something like that around there.
Do we have Pahokee?
No, they're not gonna. Are they gonna go that far, Charles? Are
I mean,
go
you know,
to Lake
a lot of the recent, a lot of the Grand Theft Autos in general are rags to riches. There was nothing more rags and riches than trying to pimp out Pahokee kids from high schools in football.
Yeah.
Your boy Anquan Bolden would like to be the poster child for it.
Yeah.
Listen, if for a college football mindset, if you get somebody from Pahokee, you're in. You got somebody who at least is going to get drafted in the first 3 rounds.
Then you got all of these islands along the, like this kind of looks like the Venetian Islands here. So then of course you got, Collins and Avenue and everything like that here on Biscayne. Ocean.
Can I say something on a professional level of what I need them to have? Because we mentioned jail. I need to see Chrome Detention Center and what they're,
yeah.
GTA is very political, right? And there's satire, and I need that in some form and capacity.
Well, that's kind of that. So this, Charles, I think this is the keys. This is actually the keys.
Oh yeah,
because look. You have the actual main US one that goes all the way down to the Keys. And then you have the side one that used to be where the railroad was. You see on the side here? On the right? Where this plane is going through. So that is actually the overseas highway for the Keys. So, yes, we are going to be going down to the Keys, Charles.
They got us, damn it.
So I believe that we're going to get that far. We're going to have some sort of amalgamation of the Keys. And then you have this. And
I swear to God, I hope they do something cheeky. Instead of calling the Keys, they call it like the lock or something.
Yeah, something like that.
The chimes.
Then you have this vice symbol. I don't know. This. Then, of course, you have the TikTok or Instagram stuff. So that's people, yes, alligators.
I gotta say, Twitter is perfect.
Yeah.
For the humor, because the stuff they've been saying about the lady just dancing on the car has made me laugh.
Yeah, they compared everything to these are actual things that happen in real life. All of this. Yes.
It's just for show, guys. We'll get to it.
Yeah, alligator walking into the thing, of course. Drug bust and deal, things like that. Crazy people, naked people on the streets. Yeah. So, this out here, that's probably out by Chrome anyways, because all the way out there is where you do all the mudding and everything like that too. So that is also represented here. Yes, those homes are very much Miami. That you see those apartments behind there. That there's several places in Hialeah that look like that. I'll tell you that much, Charles.
We're going to see a lot of apartments in GTA with the little window barricades and like a Santa Maria kind of thing.
Yeah. And then we've got them just the video, the virtual hearings that we have in Florida, where you have these characters appearing on screen like this.
It's so good.
This is in Spanish. I never read this. Confesión escrita en tinta para tatuajes. Un tatuaje en el cuello, en his neck, que lo delato a sí mismo clave en la condena de un hombre. Did this man write his confession in his tattoos on his neck?
Yeah, well, it's GTA.
That's great.
GTA Rockstar is also known for giving you like good soundtracks, but I need them to. You gotta do me a solid here. I need 2 things. I need like a Help Me Howard combo, right? For anybody who's in South Florida, West Palm, for the most part, right? And
Mm.
then also some of Miami stuff. And I also do need if we're gonna make it very Hispanic based, which I'm all for, I need like an offshoot of what Telemundo or
Well, they've got it here. It's called Mega
Univision.
Noticias.
This is perfect.
Mega
All right.
Mundo. That's Mega Mundo News. That's what it is. It's a
I wanna
TV.
know-
This is a TV report, a faux TV report of this man who had his confession tattooed on his neck.
You know what the best part of it too is? They must have had somebody who has had some form of consultation about it, and just said like, all right, we need a Hispanic, expert here.
Yeah.
Which one of our Latinos do we have coming into it for Rockstar?
I mean,
I don't think Sam Hauser.
you can't bring a Mexicano from L.A. to Florida to try and suss that out. You need to bring real people who are from here. Okay?
What
Cubano,
show?
Venezolano, somebody.
Didn't we have that situation a couple? Oh, it was it's the Insomniac situation. Rockstars are professionals, okay, and not like Insomniac who
Cuban
has Mike Morales being Puerto Rican. And it was like Cuban Spider-Man.
There you go. No, they definitely got some consultants from down here, for sure. Because this is.
They called up Alex Hanna personally, like, hey,
frickin' wheels up, guns down. They've got this too, as well.
Where's my Liberty City?
Yeah, well, this is where this happens. So there it is. That is where that happens.
And for anybody who needs to understand, we're not talking about Liberty City like Grand Theft Auto New York. Liberty City is basically a no man's land in Miami. That's probably about 20 minutes from you, where you live in Hialeah.
Yeah.
If I have to remember my metrics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and here's the thing: I need ass elbows to traffic, just so people understand.
Yeah, so
like 2 in the afternoon.
I mean, there we go. Yep, pawn shops and stuff like that. Yes, that's very much Florida. Okay, and there's GTA 6 in Leonida in Vice City. 2025, Charles, probably late 2025, I'm going to assume. And, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's going to sell boatloads no matter when it releases. But yeah, that's, it is very much a simulation of South Florida. Like, they nailed it in the trailer. Everybody, the local news down here is covering it.
Yeah, everybody's covering it.
But but especially down here, they would never have covered, they didn't cover GTA 5 or anything like that. But this trailer, the representation of South Florida, because I don't really see much North Florida in that trailer, Charles, or Central Florida. Sorry, Andrew. That is South Florida to a T. It's Miami-Dade County to a T, and I just wonder. And it's got the Keys, so I'm wondering once again, how far north are they going to go with this? How far west would they go with it? Are they going to get us to Naples? Are they going to, because we know the Keys are there.
You're at least getting north to Palm Beach County, because what was Palm Beach known for anybody who lives at Corruption County?
Yeah.
Francisco and I have both lived in Palm Beach County.
Yeah, and you can make an amalgamation of North Florida and Palm Beach County a little bit, because there are parts of Palm Beach County, as you know, that are very much like North Florida. So, Waxahachie could basically it. Waxahachie, Tallahassee, boom. You can make that. It's just not as hilly as hilly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I'm very much intrigued. I think a lot of us. Man, as much as everybody's probably laughing like it's Florida Man Simulator, but there's a sense of pride when I see that. I'm just like, yep, that's where I'm from.
Yep. You're just sitting there, it's like you feel it. It's kind of like World Cup season where Francisco and I don't care about football.
Yeah.
But if we see Argentina or Colombia or Nicaragua, or even if you support Venezuela, I guess, over our own U.S. nationalism. Right, we're born here, man. Oh, I'm born here. I don't know if you were born here. No. It doesn't matter, right? Yeah, I know you did travel. So that's how I always like to find you. But law school, Miami people, a lot of people came from X, Y, Z different places. But we always find this weird national pride that comes into it, right? Same thing kind of applies to this game. Where I'm like, I lived in Miami for 3.5 years. I go there often, throughout the years to see everybody. And I'm just like, and every sport game, I'm like, yes, this is. I have not found a home in Florida as I've moved around so much. Polk County, Palm Beach County, Martin County, all this stuff. But I'm like, if I had to identify what my Floridian status is, give it to me in the 3 years I enjoyed, right? And that was in Miami. So I feel you. It is Florida Man Simulator too.
Yeah.
And we gotta love the great state of Florida, because if we didn't, we would move. We would move. You can go anywhere if you wanted to in federal. Yeah. And me, I'm sure I'd be a good lumberjack in North Dakota.
Yeah, I'm already seeing here. See, I'm already
even Andrew. For Andrew, who doesn't strike me as a GTA guy, I think he would be the Hank Hill meme. Was like, oh my god, I just took this man's car, and he would feel bad about it.
Yeah, and he's just following the rules of the road and doing everything like that. Yeah.
And then, but even this one, Andrew would probably do a drive-by.
You know what? In a way that it kind of, man. Now you reminded me of that Hank Hill episode where he was basically a GTA simulator, but of his life. Like that's kind of what this feels like, man. To me, this is just a GTA simulator. Next year I'll be living in Miami for 10 years, Charles.
Oh God!
And
I got out at the right time.
I don't know. I've done a little bit of everything that I've seen in this game.
Do you think I gotta ask you this question? And for anybody who's lived in Miami, they're going to understand. Because, they're going to have their strip malls and everything. Do you think they're going to have, like, something that's a knockoff of, like, La Carreta?
I mean, like, I didn't play GTA 5, so I don't know how deep it was. But
there's good on-the-nose stuff.
Okay.
Miami's very centralized, so it's not going to be, like, a copycat of, like, the state of California, where there's so much. Because there's Los Angeles, but California could be many, many things. You have Hollywood, you have the Redwood, you have, San Diego, you have all these Anaheim, you have all this stuff. Miami, it's more for, I would say, some of the establishments, man. Copacabana, baby.
Yeah.
Coming into it. Tootsie's, all this fun jazz that comes into it. And Miami State, what are Miami staples? We mentioned Fountain La Carreta. What's the Spanish word for, what's the opposite? La Carreta is like La Baja or something like that. It's been a long time since I had to go into with that variation, but there's usually some good satire.
Yeah.
I just appreciate it. Whether or not the game's going to be good, we'll see. Rockstar doesn't really make bad games. They might make some games that are mid, like Bully. For anybody who's about to attack me, I played it during law school. I didn't finish it. I'm sorry. It was a time and place thing. But GTA 5, I wasn't crazy about it. But maybe it gets that extra point or point and a half or half a point for being what it's based off of. You know what I mean?
I would assume once we get our hands on it, because we're both going to get it at this
point. I saw it. I'm like, damn it, they got me.
Yeah. We're both going to get it. This game, that trailer legitimately made me think, maybe I should save up for a graphics card update. Like that's how
they are always ahead of their time with technology. So I will always appreciate Rockstar for it.
So I might just do that. Just save up, see what I can change or not, or just see what specs eventually come out for this, because it's not coming out for a while. So and that's probably why they haven't announced the PC thing either. It's just gonna be like they have to have a minimum spec, and they'll probably announce it at some point, and I will see. Can I run this game, Charles? I would hope so. I would hope that I can. But so far, most of the games that I've tried on my PC have fared pretty well. And
it's a gaming PC. You know?
It's a gaming PC, and I can always switch out the components and everything like that. And the newest game I have on here is just Alan Wake 2. I'm just waiting for you to pull the trigger, Charles. We're gonna do the book club thing come next year.
Brotherhood of Playing Games, or whatever the equivalent of Sister of Traveling Pants is.
Yeah. So, but it's making me think of upgrading at some point, because it looks legitimately good. I think the novelty of just exploring all of South Florida, just to see what I can recognize, I've been in Hialeah. They legitimately recreate Hialeah. I'll just be like, this is great.
When you buy it, the day one that you play it, you know what's going to happen. You're just going to go to the bathroom, and you're going to come out magically in an A-cut white shirt, like khaki shorts that are a little bit past your knee, and then slides with socks on.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened? With a gold chain. and then somewhere it's gonna be like a picture of the Virgin Mary in the corner with a yellow candle.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand the culture.
Yeah.
And that's why I think everybody who's lived in Miami, maybe people who haven't lived in Miami.
On your
you're gonna have a tattoo on your right arm.
No, well, yeah, but you also have the rosary in your car on the rear view mirror.
Oh, yeah. And anytime you make a bad decision, all you're gonna say is only God can judge me.
Yeah, exactly. So
you guys just don't understand. Remember South Park?
Well, that's the beauty of this trailer. I think everybody that's lived down here at just a certain amount of time,
at least 2 years,
realizes how much they nailed it. They nailed it. That trailer was made for us.
Yeah.
That trailer was made specifically for us. They added the social media faux TikTok, Instagram stuff to get everybody else. But once they started showing just the everything, every single little bit, it's like, yep, that's South Florida, the wheels up, guns down thing. I'm like, that is exactly that's something local that people outside of Florida don't even really know about. Outside of South Florida, really know about. They see the weird Florida man shit, but they don't see that. That's one for me. So that's where I'm like,
and the Florida man
they
stuff is usually just some guy eats his poop. That's not what Florida is, baby.
Yeah.
That's part of Florida.
Like Charles says, I swear, man, I almost got shot at 2 years ago going around, and I am fucking serious. That's too. That I feel like this guy literally chased me down. Luckily, there were some cops nearby because I actually drove to some construction and everything, so he couldn't kill me. But that was around the Alapata area, so it's very much South Florida. Yeah, this is they got it. They nailed it. We're at 32 minutes, half an hour talking about this minute and a half trailer. That's how good it was.
This is how Rockstar makes money. Yeah.
Yeah, this is how they do. Yeah, they're doing. We're shilling for them, and I've been.
This is literally how we did the Nintendo Direct when we first saw the Zelda game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. I think not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. When we did say all right, we're gonna take a minute here.
Yeah.
And discuss this and what we want.
Well, it's a big occasion here. It's
our book club, occasion. Our bonding book club, which I think that's probably what it's titled, right? The bonding.
Yeah, we're still we'll be workshopping stuff once whatever Goofs 2.0 becomes. We'll workshop it. We'll figure it out.
We have some interesting stuff. Anybody who actually listens to the three of you probably knows what the first bonding book club is going to be.
Yeah,
I'll give you a hint. It's Japanese based, unless Alan Wake's gonna take that precedent. We already know it because it ain't going on sale for me, and it went on sale for you, and I'm gonna need a palate cleanser all the time.
You sound very far away now, Charles.
Oh, it's probably because my mic is positioned differently. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you sound like you went further away. That's all. You sounded much closer before. I'm not sure what you did, but anyways, so that's that. Man, I guess this is a sports show, but. I mean, I be Alan Wake. I'll just talk about the gaming endeavors since we're here.
Look, there's gonna be there's no baseball. No one's been signed yet.
Yeah, the only thing the only baseball thing was Jim Leland made the Hall of Fame. Hooray! That's been good for me because when good things happen to the Marlins, good things happen to me, Charles. And I've been killing it the last couple days on the social. And yeah, it's been pretty good. I've been selling some shirts.
Let's do the plug. Follow him on the Twitter, Marlins Historian, Panthers Historian, FJOJR, Charles the True, Dan Freeholay, Sports_Goofs. Give some shout outs. Roy Bellamy, follow him on that. Jeremy Taché, Brendan Rourke, good friends of the show.
He was on this show.
On our show, and then Public Enemies Podcast and Humble Wrestling for my wrestling stuff.
Indeed.
Boom. You get bombarded with them each time. It's only fair that they get their love.
Yeah. But yeah, so Jim Leland made the Hall of Fame. That's great. If they
he has to get the Marlins, jersey, right? That enshrinement. They're not going to put him for what he did in Detroit and Pittsburgh, correct?
No, the Hall of Fame is the one that picks it. So from what he said, that he's probably going to go with the blank one because he's like, I respect everywhere that I've been. I don't want to disrespect any team, and he just seems like that type of guy. So, I mean, if you've ever seen Jim Leland talk about baseball, he almost cries every single time, and it makes you want to cry. I'm just like, oh. And so I'm going to assume he's going to go in with a blank cap because he spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh, spent a lot of time in Detroit, and won his championship in Florida. So, and then he was like in Colorado, but man, that he's like, that it was terrible. He's like, this is not baseball. He was at Coors before they had the humidor. But yeah, so he made it. You know, so I'm happy. It's been good for me. So that's great. The more good things happen. I'm hoping Gary Sheffield makes it because we're in that. Actually, let's talk about it, Charles. Let's take a look because we didn't do the ballot stuff, right? So we usually do that every year.
I said 4, you said 4, right? But we had 2 different 4s.
Okay, so you can pick 10, but we'll go through it real quick, and we'll make a case for whoever we think. But let me get this on the screen here. I got my Alan Wake American Nightmare game through my gameplay in the background, and the music.
All on Twitch, FJOJR.
Yes, the music is from Super Mario RPG. Because that just got re-released on the Switch. I was gonna say the Super Nintendo, but it's definitely not the Super Nintendo. So that's cool. And why is the music not going? Where's the music for this? I don't know.
I found what I had sent you 2 weeks ago of who I think would be involved.
Okay, hold on. Let me try and get all this stuff organized here. But yeah, Alan Wake's American Nightmare. It's fine as a nice little extension, a little bit of the gameplay from Alan Wake 1. It's fairly short. You can do it in 3.5 hours. That's how long it took me. And yeah, but ultimately it was not his escape, Charles.
Nope. That's what Alan Wake 2 needs to be played for the bonding book club here.
Yeah. And Hall of Fame ballot tracker. There it is. That's what I want to see. Is this the guy? Is this the guy? I think I screwed that up. There it is. Alright, so these are the guys thus far. This is what's going on. This guy keeps track of it pretty much every year. This guy Ryan, whatever, on his Ryan Thibodeau. There we go. Not the guy that coaches the New York Knicks, but he's the one that.
Tom Thibodeau.
Yes, he keeps track of it, and he's got all these guys, and he's the guys that want to make their stuff public. They'll put it out there and attach their name to it, or they'll just leave themselves anonymous. But
cowards.
Yes, very much cowards. But so far, I think this hasn't been updated yet. But it doesn't matter at this point. We just need the names. So we'll start from the bottom. We'll work to the top. So we got Jose Bautista.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no for me. He had like 4 or 5 really good years as a Blue Jay when he just started, when he changed his batting stance and he suddenly learned how to hit home runs. But then once he got too old and got injured and stuff, he just lost all his power. And
he's more known for fighting.
Oh, more known for getting punched in the face by Rougned Odor. And that one home run against Texas in the playoffs. And the bat flip. Mark Burley.
Nope.
Nah.
Marlins failure, if I remember.
Well, he wasn't a failure with the Marlins. The Marlins were a failure to him.
Okay, fair. World Series winner with the White Sox.
Yes, World Series. He threw a perfect game. And, just very consistent pitcher. And one of the fastest working pitchers in baseball, especially in this or the past era. And, yeah. I mean, the Marlins did him dirty by trading him to Toronto, where they don't allow pit bulls. So that sucked for him, and he got really angry, and he'll probably never come to Miami ever again because of it. I can't believe this guy's still on the ballot, but Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He just, died. Remember, biggest thing about Adrian Gonzalez is that you guys need to remember, big Boston Red Sox free agent, failure within the season half, got traded to the Dodgers, just faded away. I don't even remember his OG team that he got famous
San Diego.
San Diego, thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was a California team, but that was the whole thing. He had like a flash in the pan production, which happens in baseball more often than we like. That's why I was with the guy who got hurt in Texas before the World Series that Andrew was just creaming over. You know, baseball's a very what have you done for me lately, especially in the Hall of Fame. But no, Agon could stay gone.
Yeah, he was good in San Diego, really good player. Signed with the Red Sox, could not deal with it. Went back to L.A. or went to the Dodgers and was okay for those teams. Those Dodgers
and that was in the Joe Torre era, baby.
Was that Joe Torre? No,
I think it was Torre.
I thought he was with the Red Sox. That one year they sucked with like Bobby Valentine, and then they turned him to L.A. and then they won the World Series the next year.
Maybe.
I mean, we could look it up, but this is.
Or maybe I'm affiliated with.
But anyways, it doesn't really matter.
affiliated.
It's just the assessment of who he is. So there you go. Matt Holliday.
Yes.
You're saying yeah. This is the one of the ones that you said yes, and I don't agree because I feel like he was very consistent. I'll say that much. Probably when I saw the stats that you put out there, I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
What you guys need to understand, we actually do some research. I've mentioned it like 3 weeks ago, is the fact that sports, when you're a weekly podcast at most, is what's important on a Friday is not relevant on a Tuesday. So please understand, we can't prepare for this argument because we all love baseball.
Yeah, but Matt Holliday, I mean, I think he was just very good, but not like great. But he was on some very good teams that kind of helped propel him with the Cardinals and was on that Rockies team that made the World Series. So that's what I most know him for. I think he was on the A's when they made the playoffs like a couple times.
We also had him as a Yankee for a cup of coffee.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, Victor Martinez.
Nope.
Nah.
I felt it a little bit, but like nah.
Nah.
You know, and this is the hard part with the Hall of Fame
Kept
is
getting
that
injured.
What's your metrics? Yeah, what's your metrics? What's your metrics? What you're doing?
He kept getting injured. He was on some pretty good Tigers teams, but aside from that, maybe like 3-4 years where he was like really good, and then.
May I pick the scab on Matt Holliday for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
You're not going to consider the 7-time with the batting title as well, 7-time All-Star in the batting title. The Silver Sluggers to me are kind of like in between, but.
Oh, the Silver Sluggers I think are pretty good barometer because like some guys don't make the All-Star team because it's like a popularity contest.
We're saying the Hall of Very Good for Matt Holliday.
Like the Silver Sluggers, I consider more meritorious because that's the entire season.
I would agree.
And so, batting title is really good, but that's just one season. It's batting average, which a lot of people are now not seeing.
We had him.
Well.
We had him in 2017, by the way.
Okay, so like all right. So, Hall of Very Good, just not Hall of Fame.
Okay, I can live with it. I can agree with your argument about the World Series, but remember,
he wasn't a bad player. In no way, like of course at the end of his career, but like in none of his stops was he really bad. I just remember him being good in St. Louis, being very good in Colorado, and had like a good season with the A's when they like weirdly had him for like a playoff run or half a season or something like that. So, and
I think that's why I throw him into consideration. Why I said yes is because I remember that St. Louis had a trade for him, and that was the game changer. He didn't go as a free agent, if my memory is correct.
Yeah, something like that.
And what it meant to be like a big, overhaul.
Yeah, impact bat. All right, Brandon Phillips, who's married to a very pretty woman.
I'm going to Google this real quick. I say no. I remember him, but no. Oh, Brandon Phillips is married to Jay Cargill.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh, give him the Hall of Fame for that. I mean, not for it.
Yeah.
But, my paralegal's in love with her. I love her. She's in WWE now. She was from Bureau. But just for that, sure, the Hall of Fame would pull, man. But objectively, as a player, I cannot say. So, Brandon, you're winning in life anyway, but you own like an indoor baseball league. It's okay.
Yeah. Brandon Phillips had some really good years with the Reds, but I don't think he was really impactful anywhere else. And even then, I don't think he was like the best second baseman in the league when he was with the Reds anyways. Like he was never like number one. He was always like Chase Utley, even Dan Uggla with the Marlins, I would say. But yeah. Okay, Jose Reyes.
Absolutely not.
No, injury history kind of petered out once he left the Mets. The one season with the Marlins was kind of eh. And he went like to Toronto. Don't remember him anywhere. And then he went like back to New York for like a goodbye kind of tour, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jimmy Rollins.
I say no, but if you're going on the 10 theory, he could finally get in.
Yeah, I think he would get in, possibly like, man, he's got some good numbers accumulated for like a shortstop that's more of the traditional shortstop, not like now you have the shortstops that are like big guys who are power hitters, right? He wasn't one of those. He was more of the actual shortstops that are just like smaller guys, but they can hit and they play really good defense. Yeah. And he was on a lot like that era of the Phillies was they were dominating the National League. And
very, very reliant on Ryan Howard and Jason Worth. I mean, I'm bringing up his stats now. I mean, yeah, he got MVP. I think he got World Series MVP. Or was it just overall MVP?
Well, if it wasn't World Series MVP, they would say WS MVP or something.
Oh, he got MVP in 2007.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was really good for that period of the Phillies, like the
shortstops getting 230
to 2011.
I mean, but here's the thing: you get that MVP, but you're a 3-time All-Star. The Gold Glove, I say, matters for the defensive. That's your only defensive metric that you have, guys.
All right, yeah. So that
fine, give it to him.
I don't know. Right now, no.
I don't want to, but I'm giving him 10.
Like maybe his final year, I guess. But man, just think of
that's
other
the other thing we have
of the era. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The only thing I can say that's good about it is that the 230 home run for 2000 to 2016 is what the production base. It's like a catcher is never going to have more than like 200 self as hitters unless you're like the Molinas, right? But I don't want to. I'm not going to walk away from him being an MVP, to the player. Though.
His numbers retired in Philly. He's got a World Series ring. Believe me,
and mind you,
and he's on TV now. So
yeah, and the voters do this all the time. So if they instead of just filling in the automatic 10, which they should do, especially with the new eras coming in about 10 years.
All right.
No, if he got in, I would hate it. That's my final thought.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. All right, James Shields. That's a big no.
Nope. James Shields gets seen him pitch twice when I was seeing Yankees versus Tampa. Absolutely not.
Yeah, he's they called him Big Game James, but man, did he ever? That was probably like
big games.
Yeah, but even then, he would stop being Big Game James.
Yep.
For a lot of stuff too. So he that was probably like maybe 2 or 3 years where he was that, and then after that, just nothing petered out. Injury history, and just kind of died. I don't know where he ended up.
I think he went to the Angels.
Yeah, something. Yeah, most failed pitchers end up on the Angels. So
I'm checking this from 2006.
He was with the Rays for a long time. That was the team that I remember.
All right, so he went to the Rays, KC, San Diego,
Did
Chicago.
Did he win a World Series with Kansas City? Was he on that team, or was he just like off of it? I don't think he was.
I think he was off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got one-time All-Star. That's it.
Okay. Nah.
But yes, he did go to KC because I remember in KC, I didn't even know he was pitching for the White Sox in those final 3 years of his career.
That's terrible. All right.
2016 on. Oof.
Bartolo Colon.
Absolutely not.
No.
Big Sexy is great, but no.
For the meme, that'd be funny, but no, he was caught with, PEDs because he's Dominican, so of course, and
he's in the Dominican Hall of Fame.
Of course he is. Even then, like he pitched a long time, but that's more stat padding at that point, along with the padding of the body.
A 2-year window.
Have you ever seen his rookie year, man?
Yeah,
like him as him thin. That was insane, with Cleveland. But yeah, he caught with PEDs. He's all stuff. The fact that he got 9%, that he's getting 9%, and the PED argument is complete.
Right.
You can throw it out away now because people are still voting for him. Go ahead.
It's a level of fat man, and I get it.
I'm off the whole PED thing. If you use them, fine. You got David Ortiz already in. The argument's over. So
thank you. Because this is very relevant to.
Okay. Torrey Hunter. I've seen people putting Torrey Hunter on.
I said yes.
You said yes to Torrey Hunter. And
I said yes to Torrey Hunter.
Defensively, probably one of the best center fielders in the era that I watched baseball growing up. For sure.
Look, I'm just as shocked as you are that I'm giving it to Torrey.
Like, how many All-Star teams did he make?
Five All-Star teams, 9 Golden Gloves, 2 Silver Sluggers.
Okay, that's good. 2 Silver Sluggers. All right, yeah.
The problem is, it's a very long career, so you kind of nip yourself in the butt a little bit.
He was in Minnesota mostly.
97 and 2015 is his entire career.
Okay.
And I remember many, and he was decent in LA. I'll give you other metrics to consider. 277 batting average, very good. 353 home runs, 2,400 hits. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah.
That's me. You don't have to say so.
Gosh, that's Hall of very good. I think still, but
9 Gold Gloves.
But he's also one of those guys that, like, if he got in like on like the last 3 years of his ballot, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Are we Jimmy Rawlings to him? That's what the category we're going to call it?
Yeah, let's call it that, right? Just like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
All right, Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod.
Nope. Overrated.
Really?
Overrated. K-Rod did nothing. I had to deal with him as my uncle is a Mets fan. Love him to death. This was the era of, like, the true battle of who is the best relievers. Never cared for him, and maybe it's because I didn't need him at that time. And relievers
I've seen
are
people
tough.
making arguments for K-Rod because he's got, let's see, in the pantheon of all of this, he has 2-time Rolaids relief, like the best relief pitcher of the year. 2002 World
Based
Series.
off a 16-year career. Just contemplate that. 16-year career.
2002 World Series, where everybody found out about him. 6-time All-Star. And let me see, how many saves did he get? 16 years. So that's 437 saves. And let's see. So Trevor Hoffman and Mariano got more than 500, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of close. I don't think you don't have closers that last that long. So closers are pretty rare now. Even now.
I'm also saying I'm super biased because he was always the second best.
Yeah, and I get that, especially with the Angels for like that period where they had a lot of competitive teams between that World Series and like 05, 08. And then even
you
with, like,
can't
the Brewers,
count win losses that much.
I guess, but I'm just saying that, like, from a longevity standpoint, I feel like we have other pitchers that are like that too, like Lee Smith, or they just accumulated stuff, like Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah,
like
you also aren't playing every game too. So
like he's not obviously this is his first time on the ballot. Like, how long has he been retired? Since 2017. So that's like 6 years now. So he's getting up there, but I think, I don't know, man.
Rollins.
This is the one where I'd give it to him.
Okay, fine.
Not this year, right? But like in the next 3-4 years, this last one.
So the Rollins road.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, like he's somebody that was significant. Like, I knew who K-Rod was as a closer. Like, yeah, it was him, as Mariano, Trevor Hoffman. Like, like how many other guys were that sought after? The Angels had him for quite a while. He won a World Series, was pretty good in that himself. So there you go. All right, David Wright.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Always injured. Had potential. He's the Hall of potential.
He could have been. That's true.
He's like it's the Mets always have. David Wright, Matt Harvey. A lot of, even their modern day stuff now, a lot of Hall of probablys.
Yeah, they might even trade. Pete Alonso. That's what they keep saying. Like, so they don't have guys that last that long as David Wright, but he just he never stayed really, really healthy. And
he got like one MVP, I think, if I remember correctly.
Maybe
2015 or something like that.
Yeah. And you know, they consider him their captain, right? They call him the captain because they want, you know,
I have to check.
They always have great value, whatever the Yankees have.
You listen, we're gonna get onto it. Don't worry. To put the disclaimer on him for David Wright, no, 7-time All-Star, 2 Gold Gloves.
Yeah,
but you have to also consider at-bats and games played, and the metrics aren't there available. I do remember him being often injured. Only 242 home runs.
Only 1,700 hits.
Yeah, 296 batting average, great. RBI is not even
His
at a
WAR is pretty
grand.
high, but
A total, here we go, games that we have. A total of 1,585.
yeah.
2015, 2016, only 38,
After
37 games. I can't do it.
He had a period of like where he stayed healthy up until like 2010, and then he had like one full season where he was healthy, and then he was just injured all the time, and he kind of really petered out at the end and just couldn't.
And he's a guy that you hated to see him play because you did respect him. He has like that David Ortiz effect for in the AL East.
He was likable. He was the most likable Met. He had one chance at World Series, which was, you know, fine by him. Cool. But man, even then, that World Series, like, he was injured. Like
he didn't do anything. It was the end of times.
Yeah. So he was not able to do it. So yeah, I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm sorry. This is the other one that people are making a lot of arguments for. Bobby Abreu.
Oh, I love Bobby, but no. I'm bringing this.
I've seen a lot of arguments for this man. And Bobby Abreu, I can kind of get it. I can. When did he retire? He retired back in 2014. He played on the Mets in 2014. That's funny.
How much WAR? How much do you love WAR? That's what I think some people, if they're looking.
Well, that's what it is. That's kind of what everybody's kind of been looking at. Is just like he was a very valuable player, and man,
and we hate WAR up in here.
He accumulated these stats very quietly, man.
Yep.
Like I remember he had like that one home run derby where he was just like really like just hitting everything, and
also a former Yankee, and if he isn't trying, I'm claiming him.
But like he had 42, 48, 50 home runs, 47 home runs, 41 home runs, 40 home runs with the Yanks, a season 41 with the Angels. Like he put up some big like hitting. Wait, what am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong.
He was.
Oh,
yeah, you're looking at doubles. Man, you're looking at doubles, man. Trust me. I love Bobby Abreu because I loved him over in Philly.
288 hits, okay, but that's still a lot of doubles.
And he had power.
He had several hundred RBI seasons, man.
Yeah.
110, 101, 105, 102, 107, 101, 100, 100, like a bunch of them.
But buddy, not a single, only a 2-time All-Star in almost a 20-year career. 1 Gold Glove on Silver Slugger. And I can get outfield kind of hard.
He wasn't flashy, and people, like I said, he did this quietly, man. He did this very quietly.
I love Bobby.
Right.
When we traded for him, I was like, "This is the greatest day ever."
Yeah, he was pretty good with the Yanks for like half a season, and then 2 more after that.
Yep.
And then he goes to the Angels. You guys win the World Series without him.
He was the Phillies. He was the Phillies' Ryan Howard big player before they got Howard and everybody else, I would say.
Yeah, he was in that era of the Phillies where they were trying to get good, and they just weren't. And then
nothing clicked.
He got out. Yeah, he got out like at the end of it, because like they didn't need him no more.
Yeah. I can't do it back, Levin.
Yeah, 291 average out of all of that, and I'm looking
it's the
at
homers.
the what is it? Where's the comparison thing here? I'm trying to find that. There's always that comparison thing they have that shows them next to other players.
Mm-hmm. Which, if anybody doesn't use Baseball Reference or NFL Reference or whatever, or the NBA Reference, or even Sport Track when we're talking contracts, you guys really should. You'll get more insight on some stuff.
Yeah, even just like the basic stuff that you can see on first similarity scores. So like similar batters, they have him like Luis Gonzalez. They got Bernie Williams on here, kind of like him. Garrett Anderson, Torrey Hunter again, Johnny Damon. So that level of batter, where it's just like, I guess Hall of Very Good. But I could see him. I could see Bobby Abreu getting it at, like, this is not his last year, right? No. I think next year would be his last year. But I could see him getting in the last year or on one of those committees, like the Veterans Committees or whatever. That's where I would see him getting in. It's like, oh yeah, he's Venezuelan and all sort of stuff. Like I think that he'll get points for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And high war. Look at this war. So, okay, your boy Andy Pettit.
Absolutely not. Not even on the bias I've talked trash about.
Everybody
Andy
just
Pettit
talks about the
years.
postseason stats. His postseason numbers, you know.
I mean, like I'll be the first person to tell you. I think it was a stretch that Mussina got it, but Pettit just wasn't. I'm bringing it up. I gotta get the hate fuck out of me for. I don't like it. Yeah. Well, listen, he was a squealer on Clemens. That wasn't proven, but 256 wins, 153 losses, 385 ERA. That matters. Strikeouts. He had a lot of strikeouts. Sure. Yes, he got the Yankees World Series out of it. He also got to Houston to the World Series when they did the NL. Only a 3-time All-Star. Never got a Cy Young. I don't think he was ever really fully contention for like a top Cy Young, except for the first couple of years. He had some good wins.
Yeah,
only won 20.
His second season was the closest he got to a Cy Young.
Yeah, and look at that ERA, so bad. It was on the win. So he had 21 wins out of all. He hit 21 twice. No, yeah. and I have my biases against Pettit, but like that entire dynasty did not have the best pitchers to begin with, except Rocket and everything else. But I appreciate him. It's like the A-Rod stepchild concept or half-brother concept. Is like it's a half-child, it's fine, it's whatever. But no to Andy Pettit.
All right, Omar Vizquel.
Nope, barely remember him.
Yeah, he was just known as a defensive player. He was not known as a hitter. And hold on.
And when we think Hall of Fame, we do want majority for us to be an all-around tool player, like glove, bat, instinct. You're gonna get guys who just hit homers, and that's part of the game. You do have to score to win.
So like Omar Vizquel, he was an accumulator of stats because he lasted a very long time in baseball, 24 years,
16 years.
Like the fact that he's still on the ballot surprises me. I'm like, I thought he retired like a long time ago. He did, 2012. He was with Toronto in 2012. That's how much he bounced around. But he was just a defensive specialist. 11 Gold Gloves. So if he's not getting in. He's only got like 18% right now of what they've got known so far, of only 2% of the ballots. And just if he played during like the 60s or 70s, he probably would get in just on those defensive stats alone.
It wouldn't be called Gold Glove. It would be called Vizquel Glove.
But as a shortstop, right? As a traditional shortstop, because that's what he was. He was the old school traditional shortstop that was like, I'm very good at stopping the ball and getting it over to first base. So, and 2,877 hits. That's very close to 3,000, but it took 24 years to get there.
Yep.
And 80 home runs, 45 WAR if you want to count that. We're seeing guys with 60s.
And WAR is just a weird stat to begin with because you're saying like if you did not have this guy, this is the amount of wins that you would get. So I view WAR on an overall.
And not a terrible hitter, 272 overall of his career. So he wasn't like a offensive liability, but he never really had a season where he was just like he lit the league on fire offensively either, right? He not like 43 like those late 90s Cleveland teams. Yeah, he was stealing bases, like 40, 30 steals like a season, something like that.
It was also a different game if you guys don't like juice back then. For the kids who weren't alive, it was really base stealers.
Yeah. Vizquel juiced a little bit. He probably would have gotten some higher numbers there. I'm just saying, some higher power numbers. But he was always a thin, short guy, so there you go. All right. Yeah, another one of the boys, Carlos Beltran.
Oh, hell nah. I love Beltran. I don't know if I love Beltran.
This is a guy.
Because of Houston, so I hate him for it.
Well, but this is a guy that the argument's being made right now for him.
I get it.
Over the years. Because, there was a time where he was one of the most sought-after hitters in baseball when he was, just killed it with the Royals coming out of nowhere. Then goes to Houston, has one of the most legendary postseasons of all time. And then...
Well, I wonder why.
No. Like no, the original Houston run.
Oh, okay.
When he was with Roger Clemens and then he passed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
2004.
No, yeah, that when he actually was playing, not when he was a bench guy teaching the ways,
dirty tricks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, Rookie of the Year, 9-time All-Star. Let's see, 2 Silver Sluggers, 3 Gold Gloves. But those offensive stats and even defensive metrics too, like the advanced stuff. I mean, 70 WAR, 435 home runs. That's
a lot.
It's a lot for a center fielder. 279 batting average. That's a very good hitter. He was not really like power hitter, not on that extreme, but he wasn't like a slap hitter either. He was doubles and things like that. So he just 2,700 hits.
Like people need to realize a good hitter is about batting average of 265.
He was one of the better all-around baseball players. Guys that could kind of do a little of everything. So that's why he was so highly sought after. And I can see the argument for him later on. He's at 36% right now. And as we get more and more years away from the whole Houston thing, the trash can stuff, I think people were kind of like, they'll soften up a bit. The Astros already won another one. Like maybe
it'll be softer on them than the PEDs. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
He's in the front office now, right? He's with who? The Mets now? Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
the Mets took him back from the broadcast.
Yeah. So maybe he'll try and rehabilitate himself that way, because like these guys are doing like this stuff, still being in baseball to help their Hall of Fame cases. You know that, right? Like that's why A-Rod's on TV. He's trying to get everybody to like him. That's why he's like, Derek Jeter, we're best pals.
Can you love a machine?
Yeah, with AI, we're starting to. So yeah. So that's why. But I can see Carlos Beltran in the future. All right, next, this is a fun one. Manny.
Absolutely not. He got hit with too many PEDs, guys.
He got it right at the end, right when they actually started testing for it, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, test my piss." And nope, came out real dark.
And I'm going to use your argument about the PEDs for a certain person that's come in later, but I also hate Manny, so fuck him. 5, fuck him twice. 6, fuck everything they stands for. 7.
Man.
I hate Manny Ramirez. He took the hatred that you should have had for Johnny Damon, David Ortiz, Beckett, all that stuff, because Manny just made you detest him. All those guys, I know I liked Veritek. All those guys, Manny Ramirez, you just hated him. If you guys thought it was bad when Tatis was just doing the bat flip, remember, and his manager at that time was talking that ish and not liking it, he would not have survived having Manny. I despise Manny. He can't fight. He doesn't know how to squabble. He's fat. He's on that PED thing with the alcohol mix.
I mean,
he cries all the time.
Man grew up.
He's literally
the Yankees, man.
Oh yeah, I got this. Don't worry.
And he lived in, like you mean, where he lived. I mean, he grew up in New York, right? That's where he's from. But he's just grew up hating the Yankees.
He literally, the character of Key and Peele Slap Ass 8 or 9 is based off of Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, please look at them. Fuck you, Manny Ramirez. 10.
But man, if not for those PEDs, he would have been in a long time.
He'd be in. Yeah, sure. But, sure. Listen, I don't believe in tribalism in my sports, but when it comes to Manny Ramirez and the Houston Astros 2017, I bring it.
Yeah. Okay. So, Chase Utley, this is another one that's kind of like on the fringes of Jimmy Rollins,
Absolutely.
Like those two guys would probably go in together on the last.
Of course, it's like 2 Philly guys.
Yeah.
Not for me, not Chase.
As a second baseman in the National League, he was always one of the top ones. So, obviously, in my division with the Marlins, so I saw him a lot.
16-year career.
Yeah. And always known as one of the dirtier players on the field as well.
Yep.
So, and of course, Mac's favorite player of all time. So, but he's getting up there. He's got 54%. I think he's gonna get it at the end. I think he will. When did he retire? He didn't when did Chase Utley retire?
2017.
2017.
I have his thing right now. Yeah, 2018.
2018. So. Yeah, we're only like 5 years into this, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna get it. He's at 54% now with the ballots that they have. I don't know what
they gotta go 75, right?
Yeah, 75 minimum. So he's gonna get
tough,
it. They're gonna give it to him. They're gonna give it to him at the end, like year 8, 9, or 10. That's when he's getting in.
What's the ratio? How long do you get on the ballot? I don't remember.
10 years. You get 10 years to stay on the ballot.
Just so stupid. If you guys were my original, go back to the archives of Sports Goofs, like the first Hall of Fame thing where I said Charles doesn't care about it.
Yeah, but it's just fun exercise to kind of look back at stuff. All right, Andrew Jones is another guy that's getting a lot of like relooks by people.
I didn't put him for a guy that you're going to get to because of a guy you're going to get to, but I can see the argument for him.
Yeah, his prime was really, really good. Like really, really good. He made center field he made catches so nonchalant, made it look too easy. I remember my dad hated him because he just makes it look like he looks like he doesn't care. But it's just because he was so good at it that he made it just look so easy in center field. And,
I mean, I got 10 Gold Gloves, dude. That's good.
Yeah.
5-time All-Star, span 434 home runs over a span of 17 years.
Yeah. Was the right there with like the two-headed monster they had with him and Chipper Jones on those Braves teams.
Also a Yankee, and we will claim him.
Yeah, but on those Braves teams that continuously choked in the playoffs.
Yep.
That doesn't help. The postseason numbers don't help.
That's right. He didn't get the one because he came in the league
after. He didn't get the one in the shortened season because that's an asterisk there. And the Braves lost in '96 to the Yanks. They lost in '97 to the Marlins. They lost in '98 to the Padres. They lost in '99 to the Yanks.
Yep.
They lost in 2000 to the Mets.
And he had big time value, and he didn't do it.
They lost in '03 to the Cubs. Like every season, they were in the playoffs, and they lost every year to somebody. And his postseason numbers, like I'm gonna look at these now. I mean, he had 273. That's okay, but
I think that's
in the
stellar.
world. He had a good World Series that first one against the Yanks, but then like he disappeared in '99, 077 in the '99 World Series against the Yanks.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he disappeared completely.
Well, that pitching level was on a different level at that time.
Well, that's true, but still, like that's one of your superstars.
And that's your guy. He had hit. He didn't. There's no such thing as like a prime in that stage at that time. But he was kind of like a face of the franchise a little bit.
I mean, he came up when he was 19 years old. So
yeah.
But his defensive numbers and his overall stuff. I mean, he fell off a cliff when he went to LA.
Yeah,
that's what happened. He fell off a cliff. He got fat.
Yep.
He got fat.
I loved it. If you ever look at his picture too,
yeah,
like what they have on Baseball Reference, it was before the end of times. He's still kind of a little bit of a big boy, but
yeah, but his prime was just really, really good, and that's what people are arguing is like he had a Hall of Fame prime that is very hard to replicate for a lot of people.
I can make the argument, but I sacrificed him for another guy that we came up because I kept it limited.
But 1,900 hits, not even close to 3,000.
Yeah.
Not even 2,500. I would have, 434 home runs, not even close.
Well, but the thing is, do you weigh the 400? I think people forget 400 is a very still exclusive club, as well.
It is, but like there's so many guys that have gotten at least 450, like Fred McGriff has 493.
There's also many guys who can at least hit 2,000 or 2,500.
Yeah,
what 300, 3,000 is the litmus for best hitters, right?
Like his
cheater.
Like when he fell off a cliff, it completely tanked. For me,
just all went down.
It tanked his Hall of Fame consideration. Because I'm like,
so you guys, we are a sports show. We're on some hardcore analysis.
If he had like averaged out like just like normally instead of falling off a cliff, and he probably would have gotten the numbers like 2,500 or 2,400 hits, 450 home runs, maybe even close to 500, 490. Like and with like defensive stuff, we're like, yeah, give it to him. Man,
yeah, I can make the argument for him, but there's a better Andrew Jones on this ballot.
All right,
and you know who it is.
Your boy, A-Rod.
Oh, I thought we were gonna save him for last. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because here's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, he always should have been in. And I've always said, and I've said on the show too, my approach to A-Rod is that he's my stepchild that I've raised since birth, you know, or the half sibling. You have to accept it. But, and I quote, 3 MVPs, 14-time All-Star, World Series champ, 2 Gold Gloves, 10 Silver Sluggers, batting tile, 696 home runs, 295 batting average, 2,000 RBIs, 3,000 hits. May I take this?
Yeah, go ahead. We're at 115, by the way. We spent a lot of time on this, but yeah,
that's fine. Baseball matters.
Yeah, sure.
The cage is gonna be short. Man.
Plus hockey and basketball, it's happening. That's cool.
Yeah, it's happening. The PED argument: if you let David Ortiz in, you gotta let everybody in. That's 1. 2. You have to appreciate who was the best in that era, even if they were juicing, right? Yeah. Because that's the one thing I want you guys to consider. There's due to baseball is both a sight, skill and a strength skill, right? You can knock the ball far, but if you can't see the ball, you ain't hitting the ball. And that's where I always felt like the Hall of Fame and their righteous ignorance of how they want to approach it during the steroid era failed to consider. I can take PEDs right now. Let me get that Tramadol and all that stuff. Francisco, am I going to hit every ball that comes my way?
No way.
No. Exactly. That's as simple, and that's the argument I'm going to make for every hitter who has been on PEDs, and you have to look at everything overall. Pitching, different story. Clemens was never hit and with the piss. Just remember that. Like, he was accused, but never fully got that stuff. He's not Rafael Palmeiro lying through his teeth.
Yeah.
You got to do A-Rod. He was the face of 3 franchises. Texas, Seattle, Yankees, right? Coming into it. He shaped the gap. Is he inauthentic? Absolutely. Is he robotic? Sure. Is he guapo? Muy guapo.
As Jeremy had said on our show, he's a sociopath.
He's a sociopath. And he is a sociopath. But you got to do him because is he the greatest of all time? I wouldn't give him that. I think, remember, he had a switch.
He stopped
position
taking the PED so he couldn't recover from the injuries so he couldn't accumulate the numbers to get to 700 and challenge for Hank Aaron.
Well, and y'all love war so much, I'm going to read it to you. 117.5.
Yeah,
that's
insane.
Almost double than all the other guys that we listed. We don't have that 2009 win without him. And Hideki Matsui, we love you, Hideki. Go Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Well, that was his nickname.
I know, but I'm just saying it's relevant.
Oh, you'll see. Yeah, obviously. Tipping my hand there earlier. He is a New York boy. And the other thing I would consider, if you're gonna be literally
he's from the streets of Kendall, my dude. You remember that?
Oh no. Born July 20th, 1975 in New York. That's how I'm wrapping it.
I know, but he grew up in the hard streets of Kendall.
He's gonna be there day 1 in Miami, for Vice City to be released, or GTA 6. You gotta do it. You're gonna get political for the wrong reasons, because all the guys who have been accused of PEDs, they were not just launching. They're not doing the not Chris Bryant, but the Chris Davis approach. Even I don't think Davis was doing the PEDs, but he'd be hitting homers, but he's in the 190 of the ERA.
He was in his head. that was a mental thing.
Yeah, anyways, so that's what it is. And the last thing I'll cap off on is he admits he had PEDs. You don't know what years he had it, and on somebody who had a very long career, totaling to 22 seasons. And he suffered a miserable death anyway, because we just pushed him out. Okay, he made a lot of money, face of franchise. You give it to him. We accept it. That is my defense for you.
He's done his time. He's paid his penance. Okay.
What says you?
I at this point, I would want Barry Bonds should be in.
Yep, I agree.
Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa for saving baseball should be in.
Yep.
And Roger Clemens should be in. And yeah, let A-Rod in. Sure, why not? You kind of have to look at these guys and kind of tell the history of baseball. Like, hey, this was also part of the era. right? And sure, I mean, you would have to let him in. You'd have to let Manny in like a future veterans committee type of thing, where it's just like, hey, look, man, he was a wild character. A lot of people hated him, but a lot of people loved him. But he hit. That man could hit. And you know, he's playing into his 50s in Taiwan or whatever, right? So, like, it's insane.
These men, the PED eras, were the forerunners of baseball.
Yeah. Like, now we're getting the launch angle and all that stuff, but like, man, of those guys, they brought it back. They brought all the offense and the fun back, because then the offense and the fun kind of stopped, and now it's coming back again. So it's.
And if you realize, unlike Rafael Palmeiro, who apparently I just have an agenda for and never noticed it, the guys that we named, they were accused and found to be they were literally the face of their team, and at some point the face of baseball. I don't make the rules, guys. I'm just giving you the gospel. I'm sorry. Sosa, McGuire, face of baseball for that year and a half. The Hall of Fame
is also part popularity contest. So guys that All right. Next one is another guy that gets a lot of consideration from people. Is Billy Wagner.
Nope.
So this is another one where those guys where it's just like him and K-Rod, where it's just like, man, that you look back at the numbers of him being an elite closer and won one Rolaids relief as the best relief pitcher in baseball, a 7-time All-Star, and let's see, had 422 saves. So not even as much. Like, I think K-Rod had a bit more.
440 something, 400
something like that. So that we just saw, and had really. Let's see. Did he even do anything in the postseason?
Billy never came up, man.
He was with Houston a long time. Yeah, with the Astros, he played in some postseason, but they never made the World Series with him. He was on the Mets that one year in 06 when they were really good. And I think
7-time All-Star, 1-time Rolaids.
Yeah, but he wasn't that great against the Cardinals in that series.
422 saves.
And then was with Boston and Atlanta for like a couple of seasons, which is weird.
16 years. I mean, because for me, the only fairy tale relievers is Hoffman and Mariano were my litmus test. So they are. That's the generation we grew up into baseball.
Yeah,
right? So
I get it, but like with closers, I guess it's just that there's so few that last that long.
But I've seen old closers be good too. Hoffman and Mariano were there. I don't remember, Wagner's end times.
Yeah, I guess, but even. I'm just going by like what other closers that have gone in are like the average Hall of Fame closer compared to because there's plenty of closers that come and go, but guys that last 16 years, that's a long time.
It's gotta be something.
So
well,
I give it to him on longevity, along with like he's in that same class as K-Rod. It's like, okay, these guys were known, like we knew that Billy Wagner was like an elite closer, but.
Well, he did get an All-Star in his final couple of years, so I'll give him that credit.
For one reason or another, like he's just on teams that, didn't do anything that kind of gave you the thing. Like at least K-Rod got that World Series, and he was actually, that's where everybody found out about him, Like Billy Wagner never had that. All right, Joe Mauer.
Yep, that was my other one.
Yeah,
even with the injuries, he made it there. It's you guys have to realize you're not going to get. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get the sexy stats of a catcher and shortstop are not supposed to be your power hitters. Man had 2,000 hits and only 143 home runs, but 2,000 hits is still impressive.
As a catcher,
short career. Yeah, 306 batting average, almost 1,000 RBIs at 923. Still base is enough. 5-time Silver Slugger, 6-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove, 3-time batting title.
People make the argument like, oh, he played first base a lot. It's like, well, okay, yeah, sure. At the end,
his back was shot. He had to go.
Yeah, exactly. And he
was the face of the franchise for the Twins. You knew who he was. Yeah. Y'all didn't know who David Ortiz was. Don't give me this line stuff. You loved him when he was in Boston. They were like, it's whatever. You knew who Joe Mauer was.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Mauer gets in for me.
I'm so impassioned by this man.
The catcher position is so rare, and when you look at them, you look at the other guys, it's like, him, Buster Posey, even Yadier Molina. People are gonna come have that argument. It's just like, yeah, he's in. You don't have catchers that last that long and are that good, and defensively, of course. All right, this is my guy, Gary Sheffield.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's not getting in because of all those aforementioned PED things. But yeah, you and I both love Gary.
But even then, he wasn't as like. It's still he's one of those like French like if David Ortiz. Once again, that's the argument I'm using here. Like David Ortiz is in, Mike Piazza's in. He had the same kind of like things. That Pudge Rodriguez, the same thing. Like Gary Sheffield. This is the one chance, Charles. This is the last guy that the Marlins will legitimately have for decades. For
Gary
decades.
should just get it just for the batting stance.
Well,
alone.
that
The most
I mean,
iconic
he was
batting
one of the
stance.
coolest looking players for that batting stance alone. Made the Marlins look really, really good. Was one of the elite hitters of the '90s. Hit 500 home runs.
26, 89 hits, 509 home runs, 292
all
batting
around
average,
pretty good player.
9-time All-Star batting title.
And he's legitimately the one guy that you could put for the Marlins. So if you want to save baseball in South Florida, baseball writers, just think about the entire context of the sport. We need one guy because he's the only guy left. I'm Marlins historian. I'm telling you all, he is the last guy. We have no one else. Miguel Cabrera is going in as a Tiger, and we have nobody else. Giancarlo, if you ever so happen to get healthy again and demand a trade back to Miami, that's probably the only other guy that could legitimately be a Marlin in the Hall of Fame. And Aaron Boone said he's going to be good next year, so he's going to be incredibly injured next year.
He's going to be hurt. Yeah, damn it. We just know it.
Oh, just demand the trade back. You know, we'll give you pennies for him, and we'll just call it even. All right? He'll come back home. We love him here. Right? And that's fine. So, but in any case, yeah, Gary Sheffield's the last one, unless Giancarlo finds a way to get healthy enough to get to 500. All right, these two that are okay. The obvious is Adrian Beltre. He's getting in. We don't have to.
Yeah, that was my I sacrificed Andrew Jones for Adrian Beltre.
But he's getting in. He's got 3,000 hits. He's good. Yep. We're good to go. And the last one is the other one people are making arguments for in the Larry Walker sense is Todd Helton.
I appreciate Todd Helton. I'm not giving it to Todd Helton. I can see if you gave it to him, if we're going to put it on the Rollins road to the Hall of Fame, but it never resonated for me. These are guys that we remember too, even when we were youngins coming in. 97 and 2013. I'm looking at it now. 2,500 hits, 369 home runs, 316 batting average. WAR, I don't like. Yeah, I don't like WAR as a construct, but it's 61. But, 5 All-Stars, 3 Golden Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers, batting title. If you give it to him, fine, because if you can tell the current guys coming in aren't all that strong. Colorado, I think he's a victim of circumstance because I don't remember Colorado going deep a lot into the postseason.
Well, they had that one World Series, and he was...
Correct, but he was also near the end of his run, I think.
No, that was like 07, so he was like 33, so he was still in his like the late era of his prime.
Yeah, 07, he was 33.
Yeah, hit 320. Like, he was good in 07, believe me.
Yeah, I remember.
And
it's just, you're asking me to go totality, bud.
Yeah, I know, but the the whole Coors Field thing, like, people once again make the comparisons, like they've shown like in his prime, in his good years, like he was still good on the road. So it wasn't the Coors effect with him. I don't know. I honestly I would give it to him.
It just feels like a lot of last gas guys. So
Well, that's the point of this. Like, that's why it's 10 years. Like, I'm not saying he was a first ballot guy, but I'm just like, hey, man. That era of the Rockies,
he was because of you.
And any other team would have wanted him on his on their team at that era. Like if you could have traded for him, you would have.
I think Matt Holliday was also responsible for 2007. Just saying.
Yeah, a bit, but I mean, Todd Helton was the face of that franchise. So
true,
and he was good. I mean, he's got.
He
was good defensively. 3 Gold Gloves. He got a batting title. I mean, yeah.
I like it. I view
and one of the last guys that stayed his entire career with the team too. So.
Yeah, I do view batting average a little bit higher than some of the other metrics for baseball. Not everything's dingers and going to like hits sometimes. Well, hits obviously come from batting average, but like RBIs a lot. It matters a lot, especially in postseason. I think we're spoiled in today's time, which is it's a different kind of game. It's a young man's game. Everything's about dingers, man. But getting that high end batting average, when you're going over the 3 or close to 3, you're basically saying almost double, almost 2 times I'm always on base and I'm getting a hit, essentially. Maybe sometimes 3. I don't think people realize how important that is.
Wow.
Playoffs are a weird metric because it's different stuff, but I can give it to them.
That took a long time, Charles. We're at 1:30. So
we're a sports show, everybody.
Let's we actually did talked about sports. So we'll do the non-sponsors now. People and places and things and concepts, what have you been enjoying last week. And all right, Charles. So for me, I would say, what have I been really enjoying the last week? Well, I'll give it to something that I use a lot. I'm going to go on moneypuck.com.
All right.
Okay. As you know, Charles, I'm a hockey guy.
He's a hockey guy. You got me into hockey. I'm a hockey guy now too.
But I'm a little deeper than that. You know, that's what he said. So like, you know, I analyze the game differently because I kind of have to, I guess. I'm a journalist. Ugh.
I'm
a guy. I'm the person that looks at the sport from an objective standpoint. Woof. But Money Puck is good for me. They do the playoff odds and everything like that. And during the games, they have all of these stats. So we got a bunch of games on tonight, Charles. Some interesting games. Let's pick the aforementioned Ottawa Senators. Why not? They're playing the New York Rangers right now. And during the game, they have this live stats here. You know, penalties, chance of winning percentage here, right? Ottawa's looking good tonight. The deserve to win-o-meter, which I like, which kind of takes a bunch of metrics. It kind of puts in like, okay, if you ran 500 or 1,000 simulations, who would normally win this game? And right now it's the Rangers are maybe getting shafted a bit in this one because they got a 50.3%, but they're still losing by 3 goals. But and they're taking a lot of penalties here. But regardless, they've got all these stats. They've got a bunch of stats here on expected goals, and you can kind of mess around with all these things to kind of get the advanced metrics that you want and you want to look at for each team live during games, or to do as your own little research for yourself. They got betting lines, you know, Hard Rock. I'm here. I'm ready to ruin lives. I'm ready for college tuitions.
I will plug you guys.
Yes, I will plug. You can plug me. We can plug each other, right? And they got power rankings here that you can go player by player as well with their stats. And I like the way they have everything set up here. If you want to get into the game and kind of know who's good and who's not, Charles. Because right now, like my boy Sam Reinhart, he's having a great start to the season. Scored 16 goals so far. He's up there, one of the top scorers in the NHL right now. He's at 12.5 expected goals. Yeah, that's really good. Austin Matthews, that Mexican bastard, he's really good at hockey though. And
he's in Vancouver, right?
He's in Toronto.
Yes. Toronto. I know it was a blue jersey. You see, I'm learning. Because I've actually played against them in the Ones Now thing, so we're migrating.
Yeah, there we go. But Austin Matthews, as you know, right? The man knows his way around a burrito, and you know he's really good at hockey, and you can see he's tops in leagues with regards to that. Our boy Sidney Crosby, he's always good at hockey, Charles. He's always good. I haven't gotten an answer as to whether we'll see this man play hockey. So you have to give me
that. I love it. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. So because this man is really good at hockey, and he is the one guy that I've told everybody that I've seen is the best player I've ever seen play hockey in my lifetime. From what I've seen, like I've seen Yager, I've seen like these legends, yes, but Crosby himself is on another level. He's like LeBron. He sees the game.
Breaking news: Yankees are getting Alex Verdugo from Red Sox for pitchers.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but okay.
Interesting. All right, and
I would take it Soto, but fine.
So a lot of great players here, right? Zach Hyman, Evander Kane, Tyler Toffoli, Just really good hockey players. We can go by that. You go by goalies as well to see their stats. But it's been a very good resource for me. After every Panthers game, I always put up the deserve a win-o-meter. And just kind of gives me ideas to how the game went along. Because sometimes it does confirm some stuff from the eye test. So like, yeah, okay. And then you see it in the numbers. I'm like, okay. So my observations were correct. Or sometimes they might surprise you every once in a while. Like, oh man, I didn't realize it was like that. So just if you want to get into the game a little bit more, more in depth, I say Money Puck is where you should go. So promo code deep.
I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna exercise my Andrewness to come into it. So the first one you had hinted at, so we go from there. So I went to the movies on Sunday. Did I go see the Taylor Swift Eras concert movie? Not that I would be against it. I would be. I'm not crazy about the music. She's an okay person. No, I did not do that. Oh, did you go see whatever else is sexy and out there at the box office? Going from there, whatever new thing, hotness that comes in. I'm trying to see what other movies are so I can make my bit interesting instead of just going to the Marvels. Unfortunately, did you go see, The Hunger Games? No. Did you see Napoleon, which is not going to be historically inaccurate? No. I went to go see Godzilla -1. Oh, Charles, the Japanese subtitled Godzilla. Yeah, my buddy Houdini is a huge Godzilla fan. I like Godzilla. I think Godzilla's fine. Same way how I like old westerns. Grandma made me watch it, so you just have an appreciation of it. The American ones are more big, loud noises. I think Godzilla vs. Kong is terrible until they actually fought. Anybody who's seen it, just skip through the acting because the screenplay is really bad. But, the fighting is good. I did like Godzilla 2014 and King of Monsters. King of Monsters is fantastic. Bear McCreary does the soundtrack for them. He also did the soundtrack for God of War. I don't have to say anything else besides that. It's awesome. Go listen to it. But this movie, I haven't seen a lot of movie in theaters this year. We talked about it several times on the show in seasons past, where how the need of going to the movies is kind of unnecessary because it's going to be available to me 4 or 5 weeks later on a streaming service. But this was probably the best movie I've seen in theaters. It is a 9.5, maybe a 10 coming into it. I'm not being hyperbolic. It is tough to kind of assess certain things when it's a foreign film, about acting, because there is a Japanese culture and mannerism. There is something very Japanese culture into it of how they do their actors. Same thing of how you would watch a Bollywood film. But it basically takes place, it's still in the 1940s, like the late 1940s, 45, 46. It deals with survivor's guilt. It deals with trying to move on with your past. It deals with trying to find hope. It's dealing with not letting go of the past, all while big old monster wants to destroy the government. Also deals with some smart playing of like how the governments will hide things from you. And I'm not talking about deep state January 6th stuff. The guys, get over it, right? Y'all up in your own asses, 12 onto it. But it was just good. It felt very human and emotionally connected. And I know that's weird saying it for a monster film, but when you see it, you'll understand. It's not really slow. It marinates its characters well enough, which I don't think I've seen in a Godzilla film. The animation is on a $15 million budget, but they made Godzilla look good. His roar is fantastic. It's different than what you realize for the latest ones. They call him prehistoric dinosaur, which is what I like because the American ones have been investing him as a pseudo prehistoric dinosaur.
Yeah, like kind of like
atomic
Titans,
stuff. Yeah,
almost,
or just an
almost
evolved
mythical
thing.
In a way.
His atomic breath is fantastic because of what it actually does. Not a Kamehameha beam. That's all I'll tell you. I loved it. I felt it. I felt a little, stirring emotion in my chest. I'm like, no, little tear, you hide back in, like Claudio Chance Meatballs. Anybody who kind of knows the history of Japan, and I don't want to go like too much into it for it, but anybody who knows the history of Japan post World War II would realize how they had to do the people had to do a lot of rebuilding from the war, how their government got them screwed over, and also the destruction that we did to them too in our air raids and dropping nuclear bombs. Plain and simple. Y'all might not like it. Y'all can keep your, U.S. tribalism.
That was the original onus, or the of the first Godzilla, the original film. If anybody's seen that, I've seen it. I've seen the American version, and it's still not that bad. They took out some stuff, but like that movie, it's not really a monster movie. The monster is just a metaphor. It represents a symbol of the
Oh,
atomic bomb and stuff like that.
Like everything else, Hollywood and its extensions perverted an idea to make it a multi-million-dollar industry.
But
That's what
it was
is.
not meant to be like, oh, this is fun, monster, whatever. No, it was
Well-
meant to be like, oh, this is human.
Yeah, well, would you expect to see a Godzilla movie, which is how as a monster movie, be dealing with the prospect of finding, you know, an orphan baby, or dealing with orphan children that you're going to be inheriting because, you know, bomb raids happen? Those parents are dead? No, there's a connection to it. It's very good. It's fantastic. The acting is good. I don't know how to judge foreign film acting that's not Spanish. I'm sorry. Like, that's all I can tell you because, you know, American acting, I understand, obviously, because I know the language and the mannerisms is what Western cinema ought to be. I understand, you know, Spanish cinema is what I call it. Basically anything Alfonso Cuarón or Guillermo del Toro or a few of the other people that we have in there. There's some things, but I thought it was fine. I thought the acting was good for what it was portraying. I thought the emotion was there, was conveyed. I thought the writing was, and the thing is like subtitles are never going to be 100% accurate, but I think it got across the message. Score was fantastic, beautifully shot, marinated characters. Godzilla looked like an animal, essentially, like a beast in that sense. 9.5 out of 10 or 10. I haven't decided yet. Go see it. Go support it. This is why we sometimes have to get away from the mind-numbing action that we get, not just on Marvel, because it's so easy to throw at them now because they've been tanking, but Marvel, DC, stupid action movies that you can always enjoy your rampages, right? But, you know, I want a little bit more of this as opposed to seeing Black Adam. And you know I hated Black Adam when I saw it this year. I think I didn't pay for it, but I can never get that time back. Get you some Godzilla promo code. I'll just go King of the Monsters. Makes it easy. The next one I'm going to take, because this was going to be my original one before the Godzilla movie -1, go see it in theaters, is, or I should have done +1. You know, missed the opportunities. The next one is, you already know what it is because I've been sending you photos of it, what I've been putting on my food. But
yes.
I love the hot sauce. I love the flavoring. And the last time I did a non-sponsor of a hot sauce was the peach serrano that I got from Pepper Palace. And I gave Pepper Palace a shout out. But this time we're going to go to a specific brand. And Melinda's, if you want to non-sponsor or you want to sponsor us, I'll do it any day. Follow me on the Twitter, Charles the True, FJOJR, Dan Frijoles. Yeah, just anything. I've been able to handle it. I originally got it from one of the coworkers told me about the ghost pepper. I gave it to him. He said it was great. He said it worked on his caption and everything. I picked up the Melinda's habanero variety pack on Amazon that had like 5 different ones for $20.
It's right here.
And it was just worth it. The ones that I got out of it was the ghost pepper, extra hot, quadruple hot, mango habanero, which I want to try with wings, garlic habanero, which I will only try with wings. I like garlic enough, but we'll go from there. They have like the hottest black truffle, which I haven't had. I don't like black truffle like that because I find them to be oily. If you ever had truffle fries, guys, it makes the earth go round. I've only opened up 2 of the 5 because in my good faith, I can have 5 separate ones are open. You know what I mean? But it is the extra hot and then the ghost pepper. I put it on my pizza that I had on Saturday, and it was delicious because it masked what you got to do with some of these hot sauces. Because I know like ghost pepper, oh, Charles, you're going to sweat. If you use it to mask it in something like ketchup or sauce, like tomato sauce, something like that, it's going to really just kind of get the zest out. I put some on my tacos just before I started the show. I had 4 tacos. I had 2 before the show. I'm going to have 2 after. Does the ghost pepper burn my lips a little bit?
Is this what you had? This mini liquid spice rack? Or
no, I didn't have the mini liquid spice rack. It was off of Amazon that I had it, but it was like the variety pack. It is flavorful. It punches you in the mouth a little bit. So like the heat indexes, you'll see. Oh, they have a pizza crushed red pepper. Say what?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, that's sweet Thai chili. If I cooked more often.
Yeah, here's the black truffle. It's Mexicana.
I don't know anything about it. It was just by happenstance. But isn't that life? Life is about chance encounters. Say hi to that girl. Say hi to that guy. Call him Pikachu on Halloween and stuff like that. Go from
this the one you got, the ghost pepper wing sauce? Is that the one?
No, those are just the wing sauce.
Okay, well,
I just
it was. You got a bunch of. I'm going down the list here.
Yeah, I mean, it might be easier to just type in Amazon variety pack.
Melinda's, okay, but I mean, these are all their offerings anyway, so I'm just showing each and every one.
Yeah, and like the heat index level goes from there, and it's gonna last me for a long time. I'm not gonna like rotate, stuff out. I don't want to expire. Oh, that's the black one that you saw. Here we go. This is the ones right here.
There we go.
So the black one, which is the quadruple extra hot reserve. I haven't opened that yet. I got that. The garlic habanero I want with the wings. I have not had the originals hot sauce, which is a green bottle. but they'll give you like the index
Yeah,
flavor of the
the
heat.
Scoville, yeah.
And I've also had like, you know, the hot ones, you know, how they had the bomb or whatever. And I had it, and that stuff made me sweat. And if you put in like some barbecue sauce, you can get the mesquite out of it. But this stuff I can just have on like anything, on my tacos, on a burrito, on a quesadilla, on like chicken. I think I mixed it with. You put tablets. Oh my! I brought that shit 13 to Thanksgiving. I had the ghost pepper on my right, and there's a mango habanero. I have the extra hot on my left, which is on the bottom right corner, right there next to the gold one. What's that gold one? Ooh, hot mustard sauce.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I'm like, this kind of intriguing.
Brother, if you give me some
It's
like
called
milanesas, if you give me some milanesas, I can fried stuff, guys. I could play with that, man. I don't know 12-pack, but I could play with that. Yeah, no, man. If you guys like brown mustard, that's essentially why you should get this. But it is flavorful. I don't know how it happened, and I just took a chance on it, and I needed to take that chance on it.
Mango.
And the mango I got, it's gonna be for wings. We got the chicken, you know, and I will develop a dab. And there'll be some stuff that you saute. Like I can mix it with a little bit of crystal and put dabs of it because I don't want to like make the chicken and just dab on the hot sauce. I think I don't like that. I like my wings wet. On my drums and legs wet, you know what I mean? But I don't know if I can advocate for an entire filling, but you put a base on it. Wait, well, pop. Ooh.
What did you say?
I saw the Melinda's Naga Holokia pepper hot sauce.
Yeah, we got that.
Scorpion pepper. Now that's going to be my sphincter. Just done. Hold on, let's take a peek. You want fire? That's easy. Anyone can strike a match if you can strike a balance of heat and flavor for themselves on equal footing. Melinda's would pride herself on the perfect balance. Melinda's Naga is a close relative to our ghost pepper sauce, creative of the Naga Holokia peppers from the state of in India. So I explained it's like the heat is hot, like over 1 million Scoville, but made Melinda's way with the whole fresh ingredients, the best fresh on the planet. Ah, man, like 2 years, get back to me on it. But it's good, guys. And sometimes if you just have that bland turkey, you know, at Thanksgiving, or if you have holiday coming up, you got to get Christmas ham and stuff like that. Or if you want to put on your pizza, or you just want some flavor with some heat. Heat's not bad for you. Andrew would die if we gave him like the two that I've had. He would literally sweat. I try to give my folks some.
Let me see. Let me go on the shop here and get.
And you like hot sauce, so it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I made the nachos. On Sunday.
How were they? You didn't give me a result on those.
I ate the whole. I put it inside of a hockey helmet. That's what it was inside of. So I ate the whole damn thing, all by my lonesome. It was pretty good though. But I of course I just regular chili flakes. I'm mixing it in by the end of it. But I bought a street taco sauce from Aldi's when I was shopping for everything. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. I'm gonna get that. It was pretty good. Has a nice little bit of kick to it. Not too much, of course, but just enough. I just had some now with some tortilla chips that I had before we started here. But this list of stuff intrigues me. I put it here at the let me see. Can I add it? Can I put it at the 1 level? So this is the 1. This is the baby level. If we want to give it to Andrew, the original.
All right. Right now, if we did like the baby level, he's still not ready for that. Yeah. Didn't you tell me that you went to have like food with him and he was sweating?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I forgot what we got, but I think it was something Latino, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, guys, if mayo is spicy for you, we understand that.
I mean, the spicy mayo.
Yeah.
I don't mind a good spicy mayo. But yeah, this intrigues me. Especially that mustard. That really does intrigue me.
Yeah, the mustard caught my eyes. If you like to do like fried meat, fried chicken kind of thing, I think that'd be a good spread.
Mm-hmm. Looks good. They got recipes? Oh, hold on. This is getting dangerous. It's very good. Getting dangerous. Wait, do they give you the recipe for this? What's going on? Oh, okay.
Buffalo wrap.
Okay, you can make the mango salsa. All right, I see that. I see how that is. That looks good. Hold on, let's go down this. That's okay. Pull apart ham and Swiss sliders. All right, yeah, I can do that for sure. Panades. Okay. The mango salsa. Sliders. Okay, yeah, sliders.
I mean, the cheesy ghost pepper buffalo wrap just speaks to me. I would die. My colon would just open up the gates of heaven.
Yeah.
In a way that nothing could be saved. Hold on. Melinda's Korean-inspired ghost pepper braised short ribs. I love short ribs.
Yeah, avocado sauce. salsa.
Dude, they're giving you like some like variety too.
These are good. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, they got Korean food. They got all kinds of stuff here. Bacon jam burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
And, I see the spicy
bloody Melindas with jalapeno ketchup. Look at that.
That will wake you up. I actually do, when I do have pasta, I put it in the tomato sauce just to give it something more of a texture besides if it's not sweet marinara. Ooh, mac and cheese, that'd be good. Crunchy tacos. Ooh,
Chipotle cookies.
Belize, yeah, right. Belizean. I don't know if I want them my cookies. I want sweet. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't decided. Oysters. Yeah. Well, you have horseradish, right? If you're just having the oysters raw. So
yeah, remember who was the one that was coughing on the hot sauce on Thursday Night Football, whatever.
Oh yeah, it was it was Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram.
Yeah, he was dying
because he couldn't deal with it. And look, I get it, man. Like that stuff we put us to the ground.
Went down the wrong pipe a little bit, maybe.
Oh, maple habanero honey mustard, bro. If you give me something, like
I know this. Hold on, this intrigues me. I want to see how. Let's see. Okay, the honey mustard. All right. Melinda's habanero honey mustard, maple syrup, and then 2 to 3 pounds of fried chicken.
They understand who we are as people.
Hell yeah. Empty it into a mixing bowl, add maple syrup, stir, boom, you're done.
I can work with this. I can cook with it.
Yeah, you can make that,
man.
Charles.
14,
that's easy enough for you.
Yeah. They might get me back. So for those who don't realize, I gave up on living and eating food. I'll have other people cook for me. When
I was talking about this.
Like
okay, I was talking about this yesterday. This is like we're at 151, and just like overall, like this year has been all about me getting healthier and everything like that. We're gonna be at 6 months at the gym, Charles.
Yeah.
Next week, so good for me. Just overall, just trying to get healthy. But we've been really good this year, both of us, on the fast food.
Yeah, I mean, I usually do it like once a month. I have not exercised December yet. That's the treat. And you see, when you put like a cap out onto it, I think that's what works. And partially too is, I'll tell you, you don't miss fast food when you cut out for a while. Like that's why it's really just Wendy's, or when I do want Taco Bell, I get Taco Bell. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
But you know, my whole thing is I'm too lazy to cook. Yeah. That's what it is. Hold on a second. Oh, there's my Melinda's fire roasted ghost pepper wings. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second.
They got the recipe here, man.
I want to do like the garlic wing stuff, but hold on, scroll down for a second. I saw something that I cannot deny myself.
You got beer, yeah.
The pretzel one.
Oh,
Bria's too hard, man. Bria's super hard for me to do.
Yeah,
it's messy.
It takes a while. Yeah. Spicy
beef and cheese stuff pretzel.
Yeah, with honey mustard sauce.
Brother, I love a good pretzel.
Yeah, they got a lot of sweets here, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I gotta research them.
Hot damn ramen.
I know.
Oh, I could make this.
Oh yeah, ramen should definitely have it.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to find out more about this company.
I mean, they're out of Texas. They're out of Irving. If I ever go back to Dallas, which probably sometime in the next month, I'll probably.
Well, I know this is going to sound terrible, and I understand it's probably just going to be a conglomerate over in Germany. But I want to know who is your pepper consultant. I need a Hispanic. I need a black person. I mean, I need like that one white guy
Irving,
from Louisiana.
Texas, right? So I would assume they got a Mexican in there.
Yeah, I need all that variety.
Chipotle. This is a good resource for just straight up food, man. Like they got some good recipes out here. This is legit.
Yeah. Well, for the brevity of time, Melinda's the brand hot sauce. It's just so good. Get the variety pack for $20, or try some other stuff if you're not crazy about it. Like just go on their website or go on Amazon. Promo code, hurt so good.
Yeah. All right. So Charles, we spent a lot of time on baseball, on hot sauce, and on GTA. So I guess this will be a much quicker version of the frickin' petty train. But whatever. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I didn't watch any games this weekend for the NFL. My Florida State Seminoles got snubbed and screwed, so we won't have enough time to harp on it. But
next week, we can do that we can do it next week.
The reaction in the aftermath has gone totally off the rails, Charles, and the year of Francisco is in complete chaos right now. Because
I'm willing to skip the cage this week to address one thing I want to do about the college football thing, real quick.
Sure. I mean,
Well, I don't have to skip the cage. I'm gonna put 3 lines. I'll make it into a soliloquy here,
yeah, okay.
or a
Well,
haiku.
anyways, well, we'll go on the petty train real quick, and
All right.
we'll go from there. But I didn't watch any games. The Dolphins narrative has not changed. They have not beaten any real teams yet.
Francisco, they have ketchup.
Oh,
On
cool,
Melinda's.
cool beans.
Melinda's ghost ketchup, Melinda's black pepper ketchup, habanero ketchup, chipotle ketchup, jalapeno ketchup. Dog.
Hell yeah. All right, so we'll do rapid fire here. Cowboys Seahawks.
Trash.
Alrighty.
I mean, like, it was a good game. I watched it, but you know, I have to for all.
It's one of the
say
better
so.
Thursday night football games we've had. So
Probably in like 2 years.
yeah. The Falcons and the Jets. Oof, man, if you wanted
Absolutely
to watch
not.
terrible football, that was it.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Tim Boyle lost a job, but you know who did not lose a job? Robert Saleh. Fire Robert Saleh.
The Detroit Lions beat the Saints. I think Carr got injured, and then Winston came in, and the Lions hung on. Yeah. The Texans beat the Broncos. He said the Broncos were losing steam now.
Yep, they got a little bit too ahead of themselves. Good for Texas, man.
Yeah, looking good. The Chargers beat the Patriots 6-0.
I'm not saying anything.
The worst game of the season, possibly. In a season full of really terrible games. That
like, do I feel bad for Mac Jones because they went with Zap Bailey? Yeah, or Bailey Zapp. Yeah, but the thing is, like, there's just nobody there.
The Steelers had their dud loss, and it was to the Cardinals, as they always do. So
Kenny Pickett's hurt.
Yeah, but
I mean,
it's a 2-9 team or whatever, 2-11 team.
Mike Tomlin, 2-10 now, or 3-10 now. Mike Tomlin's allergic to winning or losing, though. He'll find a way.
No, I'm saying that they always have losses like this, and then they'll go out and beat. I don't know who else is on their schedule, but they'll beat a team that's up there. Once again, the Dolphins narrative doesn't change for me at all. Play a real team. We'll see a battle of pretenders when the Dolphins play the Cowboys later on before Christmas.
Francisco, they have hot honey.
We saw that. We saw a hot honey minister, right?
I wasn't paying attention to it. That I saw it.
Yeah. The Bucks beat the Panthers. The Panthers are terrible, and the Bucks default win. So
Mike Evans, fantastic. He has his 10,000-yard season. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
The Packers beat the Chiefs.
Man,
Jordan Love.
All I'm saying,
it's happening.
How is it that they literally get gifted? It's like, because the universe is like, we made Wisconsin, so we're only going to do one good thing for Wisconsin and give you consistent Hall of Fame quarterbacks. He has 22 touchdowns, 10 picks, like 2,500 yards passing. You know who doesn't have that? Green Bay Packers. I'm sorry, not Green Bay, New York Jets.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is a system quarterback. There, I said it. My ultimate petty.
The Rams beat the Browns.
It's not even fair anymore.
The Bengals beat the Jaguars.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game.
Lawrence is hurt now, so we'll see.
Everybody's hurt. And this was topic conversation of why you have to have good drafted backups for these situations. This is the season.
49ers spanked the Eagles.
Yeah, I have one guy who's an Eagles fan. He was saying, "Oh, it's all the refs." I'm like, you let up 42 points, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It's your fault that we're gonna have Brock Purdy be MVP. Thanks.
And finally, your Colts lost to the your Titans lost to the Colts. Whoops. There you go.
Good. Let's not try to win this. You have an 8-4 Jaguars, 7-5, or 7-6 or whatever. We want Marvin Harrison Jr. Let us get Marvin Harrison Jr. He is the only receiver who is listed on the Heisman. I want this. We deserve this. Let's get this, because it's not necessarily a lost season because you always have failure to start. And we're failure to start because of the fact that you didn't have an offense to begin with.
NFL's not a draft lottery, right? So it's just pretty much tank and you're the one, right?
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
guys are, let me look at this. I just want to look at.
We're competing against the Bears right now.
Okay, so
right?
There's a specific website just for this that we're just gonna look at real quick because this is a sports show, I guess. We're gonna go on Tankathon. All right, I don't want to look at the NBA right now. All right, the NFL. So right now, the Chicago Bears own the #1 pick because the Carolina Panthers are trading it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they're at right there. And the Bears can possibly draft another quarterback and reset. Right? They have two they have 2 first-round picks. They can just all right, you know what? Just feels
yeah, sure.
So
It helps to sleep
that's a
at night.
quarterback gone. Your Titans sit at 4-8 at number 8. They have to lose out. If the Arizona Cardinals are 1 game ahead of you, right? Let's see. Hold
And
on.
they're gonna Cardinals are gonna win some games.
All right. So, and then you have the New England Patriots. So you have to
I have
just
no
beat
concern.
out New England or Arizona.
I don't think we have to beat out New England because I know Belichick's gonna fuck it up 15 and just like draft a lineman or something from Chattanooga, and no one's gonna know. I have full faith and confidence that Bill is that arrogant, or he's gonna trade down.
So, do you think like Arizona would you're trying to get Marvin Harrison? So,
I want Marvin Harrison too.
Based
yes.
on
I don't know
all these other teams ahead of you. I mean, just to improve that possibility. To
the
pair
Bears
with
have
Will
to get
Levis and Derrick
DeAndre Hopkins.
and DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, Derrick Henry's gonna be gone. There's a reason why we got Tajay Spears. And I have to prepare. We almost had a Henry handy too, and I realized wanting to fail to tank is going to take away the greatest man that has ever come into my uniform in the last like 5-10 years. That wasn't Chris Johnson. But the hard decisions are still a decision. It's only hard if you think it's hard. Life lessons to you guys here. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I want it. I need it.
Okay.
I must have it.
So that's where we're at with the tank race right now. Okay, so there's actual NFL analysis of some sort for everyone out there. All right, so we'll talk about the college football stuff. So Florida State is not getting in. They're playing Georgia in the Orange Bowl, 5-6. We were left out. They put Bama because Bama beat Georgia in the conference championship. Florida State still went undefeated. Still won 2 games without Jordan Travis, or 3 games really because he got injured in the one, and won our conference. And Michigan can cheat all they want and still be number 1
and play nobody
and play nobody that's actually good. And yeah, and then like the only teams that nobody had problems with were Texas and Washington, I guess.
And the 2 thoughts I have on that is, if you had to admit somebody, then you admit out Texas, because if you love the SEC so much, what you guys love the Big 10 now or Big 12 now, get out.
They're going to be in the SEC soon, so it was basically so they
exactly.
got 2 SEC teams in there anyways. That's how they went.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, that's the easy decision.
Yeah,
it's a travesty. There's 2 points of contention I want to bring out because I don't want to wait for it, because I'm going to forget about it. 1, it is very clear that the college football playoffs is anti-ACC, and this is a punishment for the last decade have just been FSU and Clemson as being the sole proprietors of carrying the torch. The U wasn't doing it, and then that was your trifecta. That was your 3, right? For the U, because we did get number 1 for like 1 week. FSU, who got 2014, right? And then they just came in for Norvell, and then Clemson. Duke ain't doing nothing. UNC ain't doing nothing. Louisville doing nothing. It's such a weak conference that are really more basketball sport programs.
Basketball
and that's why and that's why you discriminate against us. And I'm sorry, that you felt that someone getting injured is sufficient enough not to allow there, when I literally had to see, Tua Tagovailoa have to come in to replace Jalen Hurts at, one of the college football games to come into it. So it goes to show that sometimes it's not a subpar quarterback could be just as bad at causing you a lost game and not give viewership as opposed to an injured quarterback. That's my stretch on 1. Is there anything you want to put onto that before I get to point of contention number 2? I think it's anti-ACC. It's been like that for several years.
Yeah,
and y'all
but
love
now
Dabo
you have all
Swinney's
this
dick so much.
realignment stuff, and next year this probably ain't gonna happen. So this is like the 1 year where pretty much everyone they actually had problems with it. So now we see the flaw in the system, and there you go. But the whole thing was, hey, if they lost their quarterback, and now they come out with, that was part of the things. Now we can do that, and it was always in there, and nobody just knew. It's like this whole air of mystery to it, and people just want transparency now. And then we have all this dumb shit. I think that's 4 on me. I've been pretty good this episode.
I was good until Manny Ramirez came up.
with all these state legislators and senators.
Oh, you're MAGA historian now. Follow him on the Twitter now.
Yeah, because that happens now where those people follow me and consider me this because I cover sports that are probably more heavily on those anyways. But in any case, yeah, that's happening. So yeah, the year for Cisco is off the rails now because, screw the education system, screw infrastructure, screw all this other. This is as political as I'll get on this show, but yeah, Florida State not making it, that's what really matters. And like anybody who is a real Seminoles fan, like if you really look at it, we probably were gonna get spanked by any of those other 3 teams that are ahead of us. If it wasn't Bama, I don't know. Maybe we could come out with a miracle. I say
Washington,
but regardless, it would have been nice to have had the chance, sure. But you know what? I had already come to peace with the season dying when Jordan Travis's leg went a completely different angle than it should have. And as soon as I saw him, like, well, the season's over. It's over.
180.
It's over. Like they went undefeated, and it was just pretty much like people going through the stages of grief, thinking like bargaining, denial, whatever, and they thought, well, maybe if we go undefeated, maybe it'll be like they would have had to have beaten Florida by 2 scores, maybe. People are doing that math now, and it was
Florida
never
people
happen.
Doing math.
It was never going to happen.
We're not known for education,
but it is kind of nice to see like Miami fans. A lot of them are like defending Florida State because I guess same conference, so people are doing that.
Anti-ACC, baby.
Yeah, so there's that sort of thing going on, but we'll get them in the college basketball tournament in March, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
college football.
Good job, Florida State. I really don't care if they win the Orange Bowl or not. It'd be nice to cap off the season and just be like, screw everybody. We beat Georgia. But next year we won't have the problem. We'll figure it out. And yeah, it's over. Move on, everybody. I've moved on. UCF fans haven't moved on.
Well, there transitions to number 2 because even though he's not here to defend it,
I've moved on. I think Florida State should move on. We should stop all this bullshit. 5 with state legislators. Oh, we need the college football committee to release their records, and like it doesn't matter. But and UCF fans, just move on. My God. 2017, us not making it is still better than you with your faux national championship.
Your tragedy is not their justification, and it's so immature. And I'm taking this because if anybody's listened to the OG days, like the first 2 years of us being out here, and I would just pick at UCF all the time. And I think it would have Andrew Papa views, but it's all imaginary wins and stuff like that. But the corralling, and Andrew started it when he goes, I have such Schadenfreude, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Schadenfreude.
Which is for plain English people is, exuberation or enjoyment that someone's losing. Because you think it's the same, and you guys are running those coattails of 2017 for so long. But the one key difference, and you guys don't understand the group chat. The man was like, well, this was the conference thing. This was a certain schedule, similar thing to FSU. He was trying to say that it was a pure mirroring of FSU. And
Mackenzie Milton got injured, and, Jordan Travis got injured. Like, Mackenzie Milton was never going to make it in the NFL.
Yeah, and we're about to end this combo real quick with the one line that I'm about to pop onto you guys. Big difference. You can outride this coattails, and you can try all your marriage against you want. I can say something is what is chicken, right? It's the old law school. What is chicken? So y'all might not be the prime chicken. You're a little hen, but you're just an egg, right? Whatever you want to call it. What is poultry? Here's the difference. You were not consistently ranked in the top 4 for 11 weeks, bud. That's why it's the bigger injustice. That's why you have to let FSU fans deal with this process, even if they beat Georgia or if they don't beat Georgia. And the whole concept of it is like, because it's so much of a stretch that if you just want to keep it to being, it's a different kind of tragedy of undefeated, because right now, guess who's undefeated? Liberty. You going to pop Liberty in there? No, that's where you guys were. 7 years ago, 6 years ago. You guys were in the no-name conference of the American, man. And you got all that you wanted. You got your big rights. You got 4 people drafted, essentially, that did nothing, really. Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir. I got receipts, bud. Don't you worry. The Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin guys got put into it. They didn't turn out to go their career, and that didn't go out their way. You got to the Big 12. You went 6-6. You hire a big-name coach, Gus Malzahn, who, of course, was able to dominate in a weaker conference, and the things changed out. I'm putting all those shots, no strays. You don't get it. The difference is from 2017 and 2018, because there's a different argument, and this was the argument that you should kept to, and I would agree with you, was we should have been ranked higher those seasons. We should have been of how Cincinnati would have been last year, where we ranked at like 2 or 3, or TC. Well, TC was in the Big 12 season, but we're going to be ranked higher than what we were given, like the low teens, early 20s. That's the argument. And am I nerdy enough to care about where you guys really were 17 and 18 ranking? I don't give a shit. 16. Because the one thing I can tell you indisputably is that you were not in the top 4 of the conference. And then even at a 4 seed, won your game with the backup true freshman and got denied out. That's a big comparative difference, you guys. Shut the hell up. Move on out. To even bring up the first time and try to say it's the same thing, it's not the same. So you can't say same but different, because it's still different. That's my shot at UCF. I'm probably never going to be allowed on that campus there because I hurt their feelings, but it had to be said because it's on my Twitter feed, because I follow Andrew and I follow UCF Historian. So it's like, damn it. Yeah. And I know I could just I'm too lazy to mute stuff because I don't know the nerdiness of it. I gotta mute you citronauts as well. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah. So there you go. All right, so I think we discussed all the things we want to discuss, and I already, hockey, the Coyotes are on a weird win streak, which is pretty cool, and that's all I got with the NHL right now. And, Corey Perry just has alcoholism, so there you go, the mystery solved. That's it on the hockey front. Basketball, I don't know, NCAA tournament's still happening, I guess. I don't know. All right, Charles. So let's do it. Let's head to the cage.
The very abbreviated cage. Welcome everybody to your weekly Trueplex, the Cage with Charles. Remember, disclaimer: wrestling is not fake. It's a scripted fight. It's a staged fight. It's a song and dance. It's men and women chasing championships, establishing legacies, beating the holy hell out of each other. Just doing it for my entertainment. We're building onto the road of January 27th, which is the Royal Rumble. I feel bad for Derek, my paralegal, because he's a Dolphins fan. He's a FSU fan. He's a Braves fan, so he doesn't feel bad. And also a wrestling fan. So January, we're literally talking about this today, so I have to do this for the shout-out for the laughter, was going to be the greatest month of his life. He was going to get the Rumble. He was going to get possibly the Dolphins going to the Super Bowl, not winning it because of February, but getting there. And he could have had an FSU national championship, and then the committee ruined it. So, fuck you, college football 20, I think I'm at. Not a lot on the wrestling front that I want to emphasize on the week to week. There is an NXT pay-per-view, so that's just what I'm going to highlight now. I have not been following NXT like that. They're doing the Iron Survivor Challenge for the men's and the women's. Whoever wins, it's I don't want to go down to the details of the whole rules, but it's 5 men, 5 women going against each other, released at different time periods. Whoever wins it gets number 1 contendership. That's all you need to know. Let's just go down the matches and predictions, call it a day, so I can eat my tacos with my beautiful Melinda's hot sauce. Men's Iron Survivor Challenge match is going to be Dijak versus Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs versus Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bate. It's a duel. I either think it go to Trick Williams or go to Tyler Bate. Do I think Trick Williams is ready? No, but he's kind of got a little bit of a rocket going on to him. Ilya Dragunov is the NXT champion. I would love to see him versus Dijak Part 2 just for the feud, because the first one was fantastico. Breaker could be the safe bet, but you don't need that match. Do you? Maybe, but I just think Breaker's ready to get called up, man. Briggs is still raw, but he's getting a chance to shine. Tyler Bate's been in NXT for 5 years. If you gave me Bate versus Dragunov as a send-off, I might be a little erect. And I've been erect enough today, but this might be something that caused me to be erect more. So for my sake, I would like Bate to win, but if I'm a smart bet, I think it's going to be Trick Williams. The women's Iron Survivor match to determine number 1 contenders for the women's championship, we go against Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Blair Davenport, Kalani, Jordan Fallon, Henley. I feel like it'll be Tiffany Stratton. I think you'll get Tiffany versus Lyra. Remember, Tiffany had beaten Lyra back in April to win her first championship when it was vacated, when Indy Hartwell got hurt. Was it in April or was it like in June? May. It was in one of those two. I think you get the rematch. I think you can get the part 2. Now is the time where you start sowing in or planting the seeds of like real rivalries in the women's title division to last for the longevity as both women are in that division and in NXT. Ilya Dragunov versus Baron Corbin. I've liked Baron Corbin's return to NXT run. It hasn't been terrible. Ilya Dragunov wins. Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee because Wesley was originally in it. They're not brothers. It's just Wesley. He was in, but I guess he's injured, so they put Dragon Lee. But Dragon Lee's on SmackDown. And even though Dominic's on Raw and he's the North American champion, I think it would be weird to have Dragon Lee win because he's feuding with Santos Escobar after a good Survivor Series match. It can go either way. I say you should have Dominic Mysterio retain because somebody interferes, but if Dragon Lee wins, sure, fine. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James, a steel cage match. I don't know why we're in a steel cage. I have not been watching NXT like that, even on the Twitter. But I would say that Roxanne Perez wins. She should be getting called up soon, I think. So overall, pretty quick pay-per-view. Will I watch it on Saturday? No. Will I watch it Monday or Tuesday? I'm off next week, you guys. A lot of video games happen. Probably, sure, but it doesn't seem to be bad. AEW, they're doing the Continental Classics, their copy of the G1 Climax. I haven't been too much into it. They're running a good story if Eddie Kingston be behind, because remember the grand prize is you win the Continental Classic title, but also comes with the New Japan Strong Openweight title and the Ring of Honor World Championship, which is what Eddie has. I don't like the fact that your main promotional title for Ring of Honor, because remember Tony Khan owns both AEW and Ring of Honor, is part of this as a catch grab. Because what's that say about the main title, Francisco? You're really gonna have Eddie Kingston lose a belt in a non-storyline on a brand that's not on a tournament that's not displayed onto Ring of Honor on the Ring of Honor Club. Doesn't work, right? Final Battle is coming soon. I think it actually might be next week for Ring of Honor, but I got beef with it. I think it's kind of like Ring of, it just doesn't work, and there's more I can speak on to, but I will give a shout out to Ring of Honor because we don't talk about it a lot, because for me Ring of Honor is really just AEW, right? But Athena and Billy Starks has been a good feud. I actually put it in the chat a couple of times when they're doing promos. The one I had last week was when Athena was talking about Eddie Kingston. She had Lexi Nair backing her up. I'm like, that's us when we place with him. Just pretty much like all that trash talking when Francisco's on fire. Yeah. I wish they did better with Ring of Honor, but we don't know if they're going to get to it. And AEW's been fine. Everything's just fine. And Final Battle is on the 15th, so that saves me some time to build into it. AEW storyline, they're going to have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF versus Samoa Joe at World's End in December. We'll build up to that pay-per-view because WWE doesn't have a pay-per-view. Last night, I watched Raw because I wanted to see a couple of matches. DIY versus Imperium 203 Falls was good. And then Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship was good. Seth retained. Drew McIntyre's like full heel mode now. Need Sami Zayn to win the Royal Rumble. I need that moment. I need to cry. Nothing on New Japan except for the rumor that Okada might be leaving. I don't see him leaving. I see him just doing dual dates between AEW and then New Japan because his wife is popular in there, I believe, because she's an actress, something of that nature. They have a baby. You want to life. I don't know. Money does talk, though. And then they're trying to figure out who's going to buy Raw for the licensing rights. And that's all I'm going to give you this week at the Cage, guys.
All right. So that's it. We are done. So bye, everybody.
Take care.